Assalamualaikum and a very good morning. Welcome back to day 2 of Holistic Approaches in Developing Collaboration Competencies among Teachers of Special Educational Needs. My name is Zala Muhammad, Program Associate SEAMEO SEN. And with me again today, we have Dr. Kartini Ilyas. Doctor, Assalamualaikum. How are you?
Waalaikumsalam, Suhaila. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for coming back here.
Are you feeling better today, Doctor?
Alhamdulillah. That's another extent works for me. Good morning, Princess May, Catherine, Firdaus. Hope you are doing well, everyone.
We are still admitting more participants, Doctor.
Yep. Okay, no worries. I think while waiting, I can still make my coffee, maybe.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, Doctor.
All right.
So just want to clarify with you that today we have this session. We'll take a break at about 10:30, Doctor. Short break. And we'll come back and continue at 10:45 until 1 o'clock.
All right, sure.
So more participants are coming in. Morning. And also welcome to our participants on YouTube and Facebook. Thank you once again for joining us on those social media platforms. Thank you for your support. Doctor, for your information, yesterday we had quite a number of viewers on YouTube and participants who joined us and benefit from your session.
Awesome.
So thank you so much to you and to them for their great support.
Yeah, thank you so much, and also welcome all the participants on the YouTube channel. Mabuhay magadang umaga. Right.
Okay, so to our YouTube and Facebook participants, do join us because we will be live stream until 1 o'clock today. Magandang umaga po. Doctor, how do you feel today? Ada orang tanya tu.
Better, Alhamdulillah, Zahurin. I think I went back and just get a good sleep last night. Alhamdulillah. Assalamualaikum, Puan Zurida. Good morning, Hema.
Okay, Doctor, if you are ready, hand over the floor to you, Doctor.
All right. Thank you so much. All right. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good morning to everyone, to all participants here, and to all the participants on YouTube and Facebook live streaming. Okay. Thank you so much for coming back and be here again with me today. Inshallah, we are going to have maybe another exciting activities for today. All right. So before we begin, this is only while waiting for others to come in. All right. So what just this is like a little introduction, okay, for today. So maybe you can type in the message what color of your tudung or your shirts or your blouse that you are wearing today. Black, brown, lavender, white, red, green baju kurung, navy, purple, red, yellow. Okay, keep coming in. Red also, blue, navy blue, purple. I'm wearing pink today, and as you can see, I'm wearing blue today. Okay, gray scarf with black flower blouse. Okay, white, orange. Okay, red. Okay, just a questions. Every time you choose your tudung or your baju when you want to wear, okay, do you think the colors that you're wearing affecting your mood on that day? In what way? In what way it's affecting you? It radiates. Somehow, yes. No. No. So sometimes we just like, okay lah, this is the only baju that I have and already like iron, I take. Sometimes the color and the fabric, yes, tapi kadang-kadang kalau malas, duduk sarung, betul. Exactly. I feel gloomy, I just wear black. My face look fair wearing black tudung. No, I'm wearing my school uniform. Okay. Nak tengok the response from male teachers, kan? No po, I just wear whether it's on top. Affect my confidence. Ironless. So that is what I'm looking at too. Make sure that match with my blouse tudung. But when I'm happy, I wear bright and pastel color. I was in a rush. Okay. So there is a reminder from SEAMEO Sen's organizer for you to have a full name. Happy wearing new clothes, betul Zurida. Even though it's only 10 ringgit shawl, beli dekat pasar malam pun, you will feel happy when you wear new clothes. What else? How about Firdaus? Cikgu Firdaus yang saya nampak ni on camera, maybe sebab screen. Cikgu Firdaus, hari nampak pakai baju batik ke?
Ya, baju batik.
Baju batik. So memang ada hari, kita government servant, hari Khamis, hari baju batik So for you kan cikgu, do you really like macam choose the colour or whatever lah? Ada yang dah siap iron, ambil je.
Just take whatever available.
And do you feel that colours affect your mood?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
You don't think so? Hari-hari kena fikir pakai baju apa. Kan Farah? Betul. Kalau PKP dulu, kita tak perlu fikir. Now, even though we are doing online, we still coming to office. So, we still need to think about baju mana nak kena pakai, what colour of the tudung, and so on. How about you, Catherine?
Well, it does not affect my mood, but when I don't want to be seen by other people, I wear black.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for your response. Sanmugam, are you here? Susah jadi perempuan kan, doktor? Baju penuh almari pun kata tak ada baju. True. Okay. Good morning from Cambodia. Hi, Wuti. Wuti Samugam. Okay, how about you? Do you think that it's really like affects your moods or your feeling, your confidence? Fazila got photo shoot today, so we're matching with all teachers. Cikgu Nur Awang Tuah daripada Melaka ke cikgu?
Assalamualaikum, selamat pagi.
Assalam.
Good morning. I'm from SMK Takis Papar, Sabah.
Cikgu Nur. Okay. Oh, you wearing blue shirt. We matched today,
Yeah.
Matching. Okay. So, how about you, cikgu? Do you think that it's like macam the colors of the choices of the choice of color for your shirt or for your pants, does it really affecting you?
Yes, of course. Me every day when what color we choose for that day.
So if like today you are wearing blue?
Blue because this is a school.
The school uniform.
Yeah.
I always feel confident when I wear blue. I don't know why, but for me, I wear confident when I wear blue. Black is a safe color for me. All right. So you're from Sabah,
Yeah, but I like black. No problem.
Yeah, me too. My comfort color is blue. Yeah, Jackers. I also feel like it's really comfort colors, and you feel like it's really developed my confidence. All right. Good morning. Wearing gray. Okay. Samugam. Yes, Samugam. Would you like to open your camera? Samugam? You can unmute yourself.
Hello?
Hello.
Okay, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes. Where are you from, Samugam?
Okay, I'm from Kuala Lumpur.
From Kuala Lumpur. So you're wearing sports attire today?
Yes, so I would like to respond regarding the choices that we made regarding the colors actually. It does psychologically play some roles.
Psychologically
People
play a
think
role.
color gives them gain confidence. Okay, some people simply choose colors. Actually, they can't be bothered about the colors. Some people are very particular about their colors, where they want to look very pleasant, confident in carrying themselves. Psychologically, it does play certain roles for us to be success in our life.
Wow.
But some people thought it's a superstitious belief. Anyhow, it somehow is affecting our psychologically negatively or positively. But for example, I prefer red color. Someone prefer black color, but over there some differences are there. But we can't bring our personal dislikes to our or to our friend. We need to accept the colors too, even we don't like about the colors.
Okay. So it could be later on when we look into like communication, maybe like the way that you present yourself also is one means of communication. Thank you so much, Cikgu Sanmugam, Cik Sanmugam, for responding. But it's a very nice mixed color, red and blue for the
Oh, thank you. Thanks a lot.
for the sports attire. All right. Thank you so much. So I think now we have around 110 participants here. And then maybe we should begin our session for today. So inshallah for today, we will be like more relaxed. There will be like a lot of activities that we were going to do, but hopefully not too technical like yesterday. Yesterday is because like we need to understand the fundamental, the principle. So maybe it's good. It looks like quite higher level for you, for some of you perhaps. Okay, so we look for today what we can do about it, and inshallah we try to make it like more engaging, more fun during the session. So the first part, let me share my screen. All right. Okay. So we are going to today we are going basically to learn about basic helping skills. Okay, basic helping skills. And these skills actually we need it even in our daily life. So we are dealing with a lot of things in our life. Okay, we are dealing with other human beings, family members, and definitely helping process happen most of the time. Okay, but we try, hopefully by today we learn what is the helping process and what are the skills that can we use or can facilitate the helping process, and that helping process could be apply in your school setting when you are parents, with teachers, or with other colleagues. Okay, so this will be the agenda for today. The first part, for 1.5 hours, we are going to learn about the helping process, how to help. Kan, help ni adalah dia dah one of like, it's becoming one of like norms already for us to help others, right? Okay, so and then okay, second session, we go and learn about skills, about effective communication, okay, and also motivational interviewing. Okay, so how basically we can apply about motivational interview. Yeah, because I think teachers also, you interview your students, you interview parents, so we will see what is the best way that you can apply in your setting. And we are going to continue our presentation for yesterday, so we still have 7 more groups to go for that part, right? Okay. Okay, this is the learning outcome for today. Okay, we are going to understand the process of helping. Okay, understand the role of client who is getting help. Okay, and understand the role of helper who is giving help. Okay, right. So roles of teacher. Okay, it's actually a lot of, yeah, we are not really going to discuss the role of teachers here lah. Okay, because I think all of you have like a different roles that you play in your school context, but the final outcome of the teacher's role is basically to the children, to respond to the children's emotional needs. Okay, you sometimes you have to be the you have to resolve the interpersonal conflicts. Okay, and then you are dealing with the parents, and sometimes there are other, quite serious problem happens in your school with the cases of abuse, neglect, okay, emotional problems, drug abuse, perhaps that come from the parents, or maybe, yeah, from the students as well. It's happening, okay, and then you also need to assess the developmental transition. Okay, and the list continues. Actually, I'm not going to really talk about the role of teachers, because you teachers, I think you know better what is your role, and sometimes you are playing like many roles in the school's context. Okay, so we are going to look at the overview of the helping process. Okay, so let's have a look at this case illustration 1. Okay, all right. Okay, just these are the situation. Okay, so Assalamualaikum, Teacher Alia. I'm Zaki's dad. So I'm not sure actually where to begin. Frankly, we did not manage to do all the tasks that were given to us with Alif at home. Okay, so just pretending this happened during your parents-teacher meeting. Okay, and then the dad's like rubbing hands or rubbing fingers. Okay, and always come back late home, and his mother is really fully occupied with other kids at home and house chores. So after work, so definitely we cannot do, or we cannot continue whatever activities that it was given to us to do at home. And I was expecting it has been done in the school. Have you come across that situation? So what are basically the most common response to the above situation? Okay, shall you give some response in the chat box? So it's normal. You face these meanings, right? Many times. All right. So what are the most common response to the above situation? You as a teacher, just I want to know basically how basically you respond to this situation. Because Cikgu Awang said it's normal, it's always happened many times, very common at my school, Roshini. So how do you go about it? How do you go about it? Common in my school too, all right? Even me sometimes like that. Okay, that is a really confession, frank confession. Okay.
Okay, may I respond to
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. Samugam, is that?
Yes, I am. If I'm the teacher, if I came across similar situation like this, first of all, I myself need to think why the particular student could not complete the task given. Sure, got some reason. Okay, maybe tired, maybe he was very occupied with playing the handphone or watching TV, going out. Maybe has forgotten. Somehow you will remember, but don't know how to what's called that. When once we give the task, of course, we give the rules and regulations. Maybe it's not really understood about it or easily forgotten. Then first we give him a very conducive environment for him. It's okay if you're not completed the task. because most of the time people are acting like a dunya mau kiamat. It's nothing going to kiamat. It's not end of the world.
It's not
It's okay. First of all, it's okay. Then let him speak. So what are the things that he has remember? Maybe one or two few things. From that, we elicit the information that how much he does understand, and we give some hints, tips to him. Or we ask his friend to present, and from it, he will get somehow some information, and give him some time, he can complete the task. Doesn't matter if it is incomplete. But most of the time, we preoccupy our mind with the perfectness. Want everything, once I gave this, must be done tomorrow, everything must be complete. Our mindset nowadays, the mind that is also completely changed. That's why I always tell myself, do not only kiamat, it's okay. Because you're dealing with a human being, you're not dealing with the product. Once you press the machine do all the work. And that computer setting exactly will come. But dealing with a human being is not like that. So it's okay. And we try to avoid from the student feel guilty. You know, that I didn't done my task very well, or I assume I feel. I mean, first thing is don't let the student feel guilty. That is the priority.
All
Then
right.
make him feel comfortable. Then elicit some information from him. Then even the teacher and the students sit together and complete the task. It will be better choice. Because repetition somehow will help others also to improve better. Okay.
Thank you, Teacher Samungam. All right, I think that's really insightful. Okay, like giving time, there is a negotiation happen there, like with the parents trying to understand like the other parties, and you come up with more maybe a reasonable or I more reasonable and maybe achievable activities for the parents to do at home. Okay, and I got the response here as well from other teachers. They said that maybe I pick up some of it. Common, Jivin Ginajil. Common, I usually respond with understood, but also lucky guilt tripping parents saying that the task given is there for child future, then hope and pray for the best. Okay. um Catherine, it's okay. I understand your situation, but we will help to help. We will still help to. We will have to still help Alif finish the task. So how can we help Alif? Do you think this is the best thing to do? Right, interesting, right? It's okay. Are the tasks very tough for you to commit? So try to get clarification from the parents. Okay. This is a response from Cikgu Nur Azila. So I will give more time or give a simple task. Okay. Last response from Princess May. I tell Alif that it's okay to be occupied at times. However, time management is the key. So all tasks will be given appropriate attention. Okay. All right. So, all right. Thank you so much for the response. Okay. So, right. Okay. So the helping process, talking about the helping process, it's also, of course, I think it's happened a lot in the context of school. And sometimes we talk about the helping process. It is actually, very natural in our social setting or social encounters. Okay, very straightforward. When people ask for help, and then we are supposed, when people come to you to get some help, sometimes it's very direct, asking you, can I get some help from you? But sometimes it come in a very, quite vague in terms of like what they want you to help them. So sometimes you not really understand, okay, what they want to help them. So sometimes even helping process also is quite complicated in nature as well, okay, because there are other obstacles all along the way. If you are not clear actually what kind of help that you need, actually the other parties need, so you are quite difficult for you to give the help. Okay, so In this context, for the matter of the discussion, so we will refer to the person who are providing the assistant as a helper. So anyone, teachers also helper. As a individual, also we have a lot. We have other people. As a mom, as a daughter, we also help our family members and so on. So whoever that providing assistance, so we are referring them as a helper. And then who is providing, who providing assistance as a helper, okay, and then who are receiving it, we are referring, for the sake of discussion, we say client. Okay, that is a term that we are going to use. So actually, client is referring to those who are receiving the help and who are providing the assistance. Okay, it could be anyone. Okay, but as I say, sometimes this happen in a normal setting. Okay, is informal setting. Like we are giving help to our friends. As a mom, we are giving help to our children. As a sibling, we're giving help to our family members and so on. But in the context of normal, the helping process maybe happen with like more like professionals, people like psychologists, counselors, advocates, social workers, and etc. So teachers could be one of the helper in the formal setting, okay, for the students and also the family. All right. So when we talk about helping process, it is actually a blending of the art and the science. Okay, so it's a mixing of the arts and also the science. Okay, because when you help, okay, helper normally they will engage in the process that require them, to employ the specialized knowledge. Okay, but if looking at the direction and the outcome process of helping, it's actually highly influenced not only with the technical knowledge that the helper have, but also to, based on their values as well, the belief, the ethics that shape the helping process. Okay, and when talk about helping, it's actually the process. There is no tried and true steps. Meaning there is like no something that's really fixed when you want to, when you involve in the helping process. Okay, and always remember, it also is not automatic problem solving. Okay, normally when we facilitate, okay, the process of helping, so the process is dynamic. So sometimes you have to be you are the artist and you need some technical knowledge. You need a science as well. The technical knowledge of the helping are the part of the science, but in doing it, it's really needs your arts, how to go about it. Okay, how you go about it. All right. Okay, when we talk about helping, okay, helping process, it is actually you are building a relationship with other people. Okay, helping process is not equal to problem solving. Okay, because we are always rushing when people, I think it's because it's a normal instinct, our um normal instinct as a human being. When people ask for help, of course we are try to do the best, to try to solve the problems. Okay, so but you have to remember, in helping process, you are building relationship actually with other people that require help from you. Okay, they're asking for assistance from you. Okay, you are not going to solve the problem. So always remember this. Okay, when you giving helping, is actually the helping relationship that occur there. Okay, so when talking about relationship, the quality of the relationship, so this is the key element of the helping process, whether what you are giving to your to your client, to those that asking help for you, is basically beneficial them or not. Okay, so that's the quality of relationship. And we're talking about relationship quality, is involved the clear communication, if it's involved the clarity, the concise in giving like information and so on. Okay, so always remember, you are not the problem solving. A solver to anyone that asks problem. Even you are not the problem solver to your children's problems at home or experienced by their parents at home. Because sometimes when we have this mentality of like we want to become a problem solver. Sometimes it may upset us if we cannot really fulfill, or we cannot really like solve that problem, because there are boundaries that we need to understand as well. Okay. All right. In the helping process, putting the client needs is a primary goal. Okay. So unlike other social encounters, okay, helping is a process which one person's the helper, okay, interact with another person in a way to facilitate their needs. Okay, that basically the primary goals in a helping a process or helping relationship. Okay, all right. So unlike other social interactions, okay, which may open-ended sometimes, but with the helping, you have like very objective goal, what actually you like to do, or what actually you can do in order to help or to facilitate. But it not necessarily means that you are going to solve the problems. You might be giving them some ideas. You might giving them some suggestion, in fact, some insight, some awareness. So that is basically client's goal. Okay, so here, client's goal and welfare should be the center of the encounter. So when if you try to reflect it in your school setting, so the goals, the clients in your school setting could be parents, could be children. Okay, so you already have the outcome specific. Okay, so that is basically the nature of helping. And when you help people, definitely the other people, they cannot forget what normally this is a normal situation. When we get help from others, sometimes we really cannot forget what the helper already helped us in that matters. Okay, so if we go to this case illustration, okay, so I do not know how to thank you, Cikgu Ayu. Now Razik can properly hold a spoon with an excited tone. Sometimes mom just come to you, okay, and say this to you. And I guess because you have trained him to hold and grab the pencil at the class, okay, or in the class. Okay, so one mom come to you and said to you, thank you so much, terima kasih Cikgu Najibah. Razik sekarang dah pandai dah pegang sudu. Mungkin ini yang Cikgu Najibah ajar dalam kelas tu. Okay, pegang pensel, sekarang sudu pun dah pandai pegang. Alright, so with that excited moment, all right, even though like sometimes a very small achievement, but it's really meaningful for parents of special education needs children. Okay, so if you look at this, or if you experience that moment, if you can think what kind of helping exchange that occur in the situation. You ajar Razik dalam kelas pegang pensel, tapi sekarang mak dia datang, dia bagi tahu yang Razik dah pandai pegang sudu. What do you think? Okay, you teach Razik to hold the pencil, but now mom came to you, excitedly tell you that, hey, Razik can hold the spoon now. He can eat by himself. I'm so happy with that. So if you may think, what basically the helping process, or what kind of helping exchange, apa sebenarnya yang dah berlaku di situ? What kind of helping exchange that happened over there? Okay, can you give me some response? The way the teacher tackles the students sometimes do make them comfortable. Okay, that response from Farah Husna. Okay. What do you think, or what kind of helping exchange there? Okay, when what basically it's reflect to you, what basically you understand from that kind of like compliment that was given by the parents. They come with like very excitedly telling you that, hey, my son can hold the spoon right now. I think because maybe the practice of holding a pencil in the class. Okay, anyone? Okay, teaching the concept of holding things like pencil. Okay, fine motor skills trained by teachers. Okay, teachers sometimes are more skilled. Sometimes teachers are more skillful in several aspects which parents don't. Okay, improve the motor skills. Okay, I think the principles of teaching. All right. What else? Environment. Okay. What else? What else do you think? What's happening here? Okay. Effort by teacher. Teacher understand the pedagogy. Okay. Teaching based on the client's needs. Okay. All right. Effort and care. Okay. Peer influence, celebrating little things. Okay. Enjoyable learning process, give reward. So yeah, you may come with like your response in this situation. But if we look here, it's actually the skills that you have teach the children in school, but it can be extended at home. So moms is not coming to thank you about Razik can hold a pencil, Razik can write, but in this situation, mom is basically more excited on Razik at home that he can hold the spoon. He can hold the spoon already. Okay, so you can see there, you have teach the skills of of holding pencil in schools. But when it being translated, that skill has been brought to home, and that it's being translated in another way with actually give like excitement or happiness to the family. So these are the helping process that occur actually naturally. You didn't like really realize it's happened that way. But I think as on your part as a teacher, you already like doing your task according to your syllabus, according to what you need to do, your pedagogy and so on. But somehow you never realize that impact being brought at home, and then it will make other parents also were happy about it. So if this parents came to you, I think it's good if you can like reward, of course, like give the positive comments, even though that you are expecting to discuss on the maybe the academic progress, but the mom came to you with other things, with other achievement that this boy managed to get or managed to achieve at home. Okay, all right. Next. Okay, all right. So in helping, okay, in a helping process or helping relationship, both helper and clients actually they have a unique role to play. So let's have a look at the role of the client first. Okay, so remember that the client or the client here, you can just imagine maybe the parents or maybe in the school context, because I'm focusing on the school context. So the client here could be the parents and also the children. Okay, so they have a freedom to choose. Actually, they have a freedom to choose wisely. So of course you provided the range of choice. Okay, even though they have a freedom, but it's not ultimate. Okay, you can still guide them with a clear communication. You develop a realistic expectation about the outcome for each choices, so you still can guide the parents for the uh for the wiser choice. Okay, instead of like, even though they have the freedom to choose, but with your guidance. Okay, you as a teacher can guide parents to make good choice. What is the best practice for the children, for the kids at home, or to continue and so on. So with a clear communication, okay, sitting together, develop a realistic expectation. So that can become a guide for them. Okay, so this should be done with responsibility. Okay, even though they have a choose wisely to choose, they have a choice to choose, but they still need to do it with the responsible. Okay, and then they can make use of the information provided. Okay, so in the process of helping, the helper actually can provide suggestion and recommendation. Okay, of course, I think that the responsible part of the helper. So you as a teacher, you need to provide them information. Okay, you can give them suggestion. You can recommend to them what is the best for you to do, and etc. Yet the client still have no obligation to follow, or they can just like refuse it if they want. Okay, so they have right. So this is the principles in helping ethically. Okay, so I know sometimes with the social relationship happen there, sometimes it quite be frustrating sometimes when you already like give information but they do not follow, or they just like refuse to follow. So now you learn today that you're responsible on our part as a helper. We need to provide with the best suggestion and recommendation. Yet, we need to realize that there is no obligation for the other party actually to follow, or just to accept what we have recommend to them. Okay, so they have right to decide on how or she will employ the information provided. Okay. The third role of the client is to assume a control over the participation. Okay, so this is basically, we also remember in the helping relationship, it's not something one does to other, but it is something one does with another, meaning that you do together with the parents, you do together with the students. It's not like you are alone, one way communication or one way helping. It won't happen that way. Okay, all right. So it's more effective, when the other parties also voluntarily, and they also have some control over the process. Meaning, to assume control of the participation here, they also need to take charge over the process. So it's not from the teachers alone. So both parties must work together. So this is basically the role of the client. Okay, now we go and have a look at the role of the helper. Okay, so defining and maintaining a healthy relationship. Okay, so it is crucial for helper, okay, to know or to have self-awareness of their own needs. Okay, so it's very important. I know that, I think as a teacher, teachers always thinking about the students. Teachers always thinking about how to improve students' academic, social skills, and so on. How to help this family. I think that's I think common, or that is the ultimate thoughts of every teachers in the world. Okay, so but at the same time, teachers also needs to aware of their own needs. Okay, of their own needs. Okay, because on the teacher's part, sometimes they are also struggle with their own personal matters. Okay, so here basically come the aspect of self-care. Okay, so self-care actually is another part that good to discuss as well, but maybe we didn't cover for today. So good to say, good for teacher to have self-awareness of their own needs. Okay, and when they have this self-awareness, okay, they also can aware of the boundaries violation. Okay, because you have a boundaries as well. For you to help, you have a boundaries. There are a lot of things that you can control. There are a lot of things that you can't control. Okay, you can control certain things, but you can't control many things actually. Right? So you have provide with a good recommendation, good suggestion, yet the family still don't want to participate, or their family still don't want to, you know, do whatever you have suggest to them to do. So you should know the boundaries. So it's out of your control. It's out of your control. But on your part, you have done the best. So I think it's really important for all the helper, for all the teachers to aware, to recognize your own unmet needs. We have a lot of our unmet needs as well. But I think because we are, when we go to work, we are trying our best to be professional. So we try not to mix our personal life and our career life. So that's why sometimes unconsciously, but because that problem's already happened to you, you are experiencing or you are struggling with other things as well. So it sometimes unconsciously affected your career life as well. Okay. All right. It's very important for the helper basically to maintain the emotional objectivity. So you have the unmet needs. You are also struggle with your own problems. So it's also very important to understand or to recognize the potential negative impacts of each happening to you. Okay. So you need to maintain a realistic perspective, okay, to yourself, okay, and also to understand your own emotions. Okay, understanding your own emotion first before you help others. I think that is crucial. That is essential. I think for us, for teachers, okay, you need to understand how to manage your emotion. Okay, and then you also need to acknowledge that all the feelings are normal and inevitable. Like yesterday, we talked about maybe the range or the emotion reaction to disability. But teachers also actually experiencing that, right? You are also experiencing some sort of frustration. You also have sometimes anxiety, worries when you don't see that your students not progressing. So teachers also experiencing that. So as a teachers, as a helper, you also need to realize and know how to manage those kind of emotion by acknowledging acknowledge all the boundaries, what you can control, what you not control. I think it will help a lot on the helper side. Okay, so emotional intelligence is about how basically we understand and also manage our own emotion, and also understands how those emotions will influence us. So takes time to yourself as well. You need to take 5 for yourself as well. You need to do the self-care for yourself first before you also go and help others, right? Okay, so how basically here, you teachers, you deal with your own emotion in regards to the students, and you are also struggling with your unmet needs. So how you go about it? Let's share your thoughts on it. I think teachers maybe have a lot as well to talk about it, because that's the aspect that, yeah, you are facing like in your everyday life. Kind of challenging for some of us teacher, because when I go to the council session at PPD, other teacher, staff gossiping, assuming that I got this real problem at work. So sad to hear that, Jiven. Yeah, at time sometimes we are trying to get help, okay, but that the stigma that we have around us. So here also, I think one of the things that you need to remember as a teacher, maybe it's out of control, it's out of your control to not let others to gossip. But I think on your own side, what you can do at your own level is you are not going to do what as others are doing, right? So and that also again remind us about the ethical the ethics that we need to hold. we have the rules and ethics that we need to hold as a teachers. So that's, I think, the most important thing, that we need to constantly remind ourselves about the ethical procedures, about the ethics, about to maintain the confidentiality. That is really important. Okay, having some hobby really helped to easing my mind. Yeah, true, Jackers. So what did you do? Okay, having me time always helped me to have a balanced emotion. Okay. Sometimes really exhausting. Um, okay, but mindset.
Can I say something?
Yeah, who's on the line? I cannot see.
Fauzi.
Yes, Fauzi.
Okay, as you said earlier, as a helper, we are not a problem solver.
Yeah.
But what happened is, in the real life situation, the client, which are parents and our children, they look at us as a problem solver. Although we are giving them opportunities, chances, ideas, which that they should do. Okay, like this, but they look at us. What they need is, if they have problems, they look at us to solve the problem. Then this is what
happening.
We teachers are having.
Yeah.
So because I think the issues here, if they know the role of the helper and the role of the client, I mean, in the slides, it's very, what we said, very practical. But in the real life, no, they look at us as a problem solver.
All right.
So everything was put on us. I mean, they want. I mean, if the issue solved, yes, they're very happy. If the issues are not solved, they're not happy.
Thank you so much for sharing, Cikgu Fauzi. I think that's a reality happen in the school, in fact, right? So here also we need to understand, when we're talking about barriers yesterday, there are, we can categorize it under the structural barriers, okay? Sounds like quite like much academics and so on, but I try to make my best to give understanding to all of you. Structural barriers, when referring to like things that related to money, related to caretaking, caretaker problems. So I think those that have been highlighted by Cikgu Fauzi just now is more into the structural barriers actually. When you really need help on to try to solve the problems on that matter, which not to say that school no need to support that aspect. I think in fact some of us, some of you already like shared before. Certain schools, they really try to facilitate or accommodate the parents with to settle on the structural barriers too, by having, I know again we need to evaluate the resources that we have, but maybe on their school practice, afford for them to do the open day or teachers conference after the school and so on. But what we are learning today, maybe we can tackle another aspect, Cikgu Fauzi, where we refer to the perceptual barriers. At least before we settle the structural barriers or contextual barriers yang language difference dan sebagainya, kita betulkan persepsi dahulu. So I think that is good enough already for you to do something. Okay, rather than not doing something, okay, you do something. So we tackle on the perceptual barriers, perception that parents have. Okay, so I think it go back lah pada Cikgu Fauzi cakap, sometimes you already like, if everyone understand what we are discussing today is good, but you are the one that come today maybe. So but I think it's so from here also tell us that maybe we need like more awareness, to create more awareness, to create more programs with the parents and teachers to make sure that they understand each other. But I take your point, Cikgu Fauzi, there are a lot of things actually memang parents just want teachers to solve. If you may share with me or with us, Cik Fauzi, what are normally things that you rasa that happens to you and you rasa macam they want us to solve the problem? If you can give some examples.
Actually, doctor, parents with better social economic status, they know their role. They cooperate with teachers. But parents with less social economic status, I mean, mostly
low,
in
a bit
rural
low.
area, I mean, they depends on teachers. They depend on teachers. They need teachers to solve their problems, their financial, their children's attitude.
I think it's more
Everything
on
was
the
put on teachers. But whereas parents with better socio-economic status, I mean, usually live in urban area. I mean, they know their role. Okay, they will come to you. They will come to teachers, and then they will ask, "What should I do to help my children?" I mean, they can cooperate with us. But most of the parents with less social economic status, because they put emphasis on their issues at home, they don't want to cater their children, and then they put all the burdens to teachers. That's the problems here that we are facing in schools.
So if I may summarize here, most of what have you mentioned just now, it's really on the structural and contextual barriers actually. That basically makes the parents think that okay lah, biar sekolah je lah selesaikan kan. So I think in this, maybe one way to tackle these things, when you are dealing with the family members that with low social economic status, for instance, we understand because they are struggling for surviving for their life. So just one macam maybe what they do is only like just to feed the family pun they already struggle. How do you expect us to go and like do other things? So from there actually inilah yang saya cakap, cikgu kena tengok balik and then try to think about what are realistic things to do for these children. Kan? Itulah kepelbagaian yang kita ada. Not only the variety of disabilities, but the socio-economic status, socio-economic background as well does count. Okay, so what we are learned today, at least you have a knowledge, you have a skills to tackle all the perceptual barriers. Maknanya halangan-halangan yang berkait dengan pemikiran mereka. So at least they can get some insight. Okay lah cikgu, saya tak fikir banyak pun untuk anak saya ni. Dia datang sekolah pun dah alhamdulillah ada tempat dah. Saya boleh pergi kerja masa dia datang sekolah. So with that, itulah cakap, sekolah kena kaji balik, kena tengok balik apa sebenarnya yang realistik untuk pelajar A ni. Okay, having that, parents tak ada expectation sangat pun. Tetapi tanggungjawab kita ialah untuk try the best for the kids, for the children. Okay, alright. Thank you so much Cikgu Fauzi for sharing with me. Sharing with us what you are experiencing maybe in your school context.
You are welcome, doctor. You are welcome.
Cikgu Fauzi sekolah mana ya?
Sekolah Sukan Negeri SMK Sri Kota, Melaka.
So it's quite macam urban area kan Melaka ni. Kita adalah ni sangat.
But I've been to Sabah. I've been
you have like a vast experience looking at different kan. I think makes sense lah when you talk about the socio-economic background. Memang benda tu memang kita tak boleh, dia adalah satu benda yang agak besar jugalah yang mempengaruhi sistem pendidikan. Okay,
I think the perceptual what we call as perceptual boundaries ni. I think the government also should play roles here. It's not just schools. I mean, we should look it into the bigger picture. So the government should play roles here. So I think the government should, educate. I mean the citizens. I mean to value the education. Education to their children. To change their status of economic. So I think because most of the rakyat, they think that okay, if I'm poor, I'm poor, the government will help. That's it. They do not know if they, I mean that you can change your economic status by having a good education, by helping your children to get a good education, helping your children to learn, and helping your children to involve in this education. But what happened? Because at the back of our citizen, at the back of our rakyat, they think that, oh, if we are poor, the government will help us. They do not know that. I mean, looking at the bigger picture, if they help their children will get a good education, their children will get a better job, and then the children will change their status of economics.
Yeah. So I think you already highlighted, actually it takes all people's effort, okay, including like even like the system, the government, when we want to go about
Correct, doctor, correct.
this. All right. So thank you so much for that. All right. So let's have a look next. So, but I think maybe I can summarize for these slides. It's a very good discussion happening here. So I think on our part as a helper, so we also need to understand our barriers. There are barriers that there are boundaries actually that we can sometimes we cannot violate. Okay, there are certain things that it is within our capability to do it. So when you realize it, it's actually part of the self-care already, You have that awareness that I cannot do this, so I might need sometimes for me, mungkin pause a bit, try to think other strategies, try to get help from other colleagues, try to strategize in other ways lah. So the point here is basically to create self-awareness about your unmet needs, about how to handle or, like to maintain your emotional intelligence. So this is basically one of the crucial aspects ataupun the role of the helper, right? So another role to facilitate.
Doctor, what do you mean by emotional intelligence?
Emotional intelligence here is referring to your own you in managing your own emotion. You recognize your own emotion, you know how to handle and to respond to each of emotion that you are experiencing. Okay, bila kita rasa nak marah, kita tahu how to handle kemarahan. Marah ni benda yang I think angry kan, benda yang macam susah nak kawal, betul tak? So people with good emotional intelligence, they should know what is the best to respond when they already know that they are angry or they are frustrated. So by identifying actually, sebab bila nak mengenal emosi ni, dia bukannya, because normally emotion being translated in action already. Bila you marah, you may like really go and hit the door, or you may say like very bad words, right? So that is basically how you express your angry. So it's very fast for you, like just to show it in that way. But people with the higher emotional intelligence, or they possess the emotional intelligence, means that they know how to control it. They know how to manage the emotion. Okay, we cannot deny. It's not good for us to deny any bad feelings. Bad or good feelings, they are feelings. And in fact, there is like saying that there is no such a bad or good feeling. That's all feelings, but it's about how we respond to the feelings and emotion does count, right? So that basically mean by emotional intelligence. The aspect of emotional intelligence should be instilled since young, okay, to our kids, how he handles. Kan anak-anak kita ni belajar daripada kecil lagi lah, how to handle emotion, okay, how to handle feelings, bila nak marah, bila rasa sedih, bila rasa gembira, pun kena tahu juga nak handle rasa gembira, because kids nowadays, our teenagers nowadays, and in fact we nowadays, the adult pun, we are too happy sometimes, kita tak sedar cara kita act when we are like too happy. Alright, another roles of helper. I hope that I'm answering your questions, Cikgu Fauzi.
Yes.
Alright.
Thank you.
Alright, so I also appreciate others if you do have anything to ask. Really, you just can like on your mic and strictly ask about it. Okay, to facilitate a helping alliance. Okay, to create a warm atmosphere, workable and warm atmosphere. It's actually here. Actually, you have a welcoming space for other people to come and get help from you, okay, to discuss with you or in order to offer help, okay. So understanding and also acceptance of the values and also the attitudes, okay, it's really really important to have the understanding to accept first, okay, and as I think I mentioned earlier as well, the helping process influenced a lot by the values and attitudes as well. So attitudes of both parties, of the helper and also of the client. Okay, so when you have a good, you should, you can like basically uh, explore what are the values of the parents, okay, towards certain things, okay, towards their children, towards child's academics. Okay, so you may explore that as well. Okay, so when you start to explore, so it will be easier lah for the client or for the parents to start sharing uh, what they feel about it, how they should go about it. Okay, and in addition, they also will become more aware about, you know, all the bias, all the limits, or what things that hurts. Okay, so I think that also the key here, right? So another key for the helping alliance, okay, helping process, helping relationship is the acceptance, warmth, and genuineness. Okay, this is also the important key to ensure that that helping relationship uh, is healthy or successful. Okay, so acceptance is referring to the value of the clients. Okay, the value of the clients, you accept them as they are. Okay, try to not put any judgment first to your parents. Okay, even though sometimes when you know first parents come to you, they say the same thing. They tell you about their problems. Okay, the second parents come and tell the same problem, almost similar or same problem. So we already have a preconceived ideas. Macam ni lah ni. Sama je yang dengan yang tadi. So try to limit ourselves lah. Try to accept your client as they are. Okay, warmth, showing your interest. Okay, try to being friendly, try to being responsive, and also make them to feel valued. Okay, and genuineness is to be truth. Okay, encouraging. Okay, to be encouraging and showing that you are truly authentic to help them. Okay, so that actually things that should happen in the process of helping. All right. Okay, respect the values, not to impose our own values on them. Instead, we should listen to them and accept it, and then work around those values to help them. Okay, so true. We have our own values that may not match with their values, but we need to find ways how to basically not to match, but basically to find one point that it's work for both parties. Right. All right. The roles of the helper, I think maybe this is the last one. Okay, to facilitate the clients, okay, to move toward the specific outcome. So this is about when you plan for the children, you have a specific outcome. Try your best to bring all the specific knowledge, okay, the science that you have, and with your arts as a teacher in dealing with the parents, okay, in try to make them actually to achieve what are the specific outcome that you already design to the children. Okay. Okay, so at the same time, knowing the limits of the competence. Okay, so I think going back to just now, we discussed about you know your boundaries, you know your limits of competency. Sometimes you may need other parties or other colleagues to help you. Okay, I think that's another point that important as well. So in that matter, you can outreach to others. Okay, outreach to professionals if that's really works for you. Okay. All right. So we have case illustration 2. It is quite long, and this is like some activity that would like to take some times. So I think you go through this one, and then there are few question after this that you need to identify. Just analyze this case illustration number 2, and then I think 10:30 kan kita berhenti 10:30, then we have a break. Lepas tu after the break, sebelum kita masuk ke sesi yang seterusnya, kita discuss a bit on this case illustration number 2. So let's have a look here. So Puan Amira worked as a special education teacher in a public school. She has worked for the past month with Liana, an 11-year-old girl with an ADHD diagnosis. Okay. Other teachers noticed that Liana's social skill has regressed, with her becoming more shy and vulnerable to manipulation by her peers. The teachers have voiced this matter to Puan Amira, since she is the class teacher and supposed to meet the parents for the coming parent-teacher meeting. On the other hand, Puan Amira, recently divorced, she has found herself feeling lonely and has tried to compensate by spending more time at work. And Puan Amira always comes early to school and stays late. So these are the case illustration. You need to try to analyze, and then these are the 3 questions that you need to give some response and answers to it. Okay, first is try to identify, based on that case, try to identify the possible unmet needs in the above scenarios. Okay, in the scenarios. Okay, and try to identify how that possible unmet needs may impact the helping relationships. Okay, and discuss the best approaches for Puan Amira to take in the light of the current situation. So these are the 3 things that you need to discuss. Okay, I think just a very light discussion, not so serious. Tak ada dah hari ni, tak ada baca artikel ke journals ke, tak ada je. Hanya case illustration that I think is happening around you, happening within your context, and then later on you can come and share with me before we go and discuss the other session lah, the other topic for today, the presentation. All right. I don't know whether you want to do it in group or you think that you can do it like individually, and later on we just like pick randomly who is going to give some respond to my questions. I think we just do it like individually, right? No need to go to the breakout rooms. How you want to go about it? You want to discuss in a group, or I think it's a very like discussion only for this. Okay, kita bagi break awal sikit Puan Suhaila sebab ada benda yang mereka perlu buat. Okay, randomly Sanmugam. Okay, I agree with you. Okay, so I think I can leave.
Doctor, could you simplify your first question?
First question?
Yeah.
All right. Here. Identify the possible unmet needs in the above scenario. Apa yang daripada case itu, apa yang cikgu rasa benda yang unmet needs? Kita dah cover tadi yang masa I talk about this. Okay, let's go back to the slide. Okay, kat sini. Di sini. Okay, yang kita belajar tadi, under defining and maintaining a healthy relationship ni, kita sendiri cikgu pun, kita struggle with our own personal matters. Unmet needs ni benda kita yang tak tertunai jugalah. Masalah kita, masalah personal kita dan sebagainya. So dalam kes Cikgu Amira tu, apa yang cikgu nampak benda yang tak settle? Apa personal matters yang dilalui oleh Cikgu Amira tersebut? Okay, dapat tak cikgu?
she's lonely.
So could be. So itulah, I will leave you with this, and then just tengok balik. Ni sebenarnya kita nak recall balik yang kita belajar tadi. Tapi dia banyak di bahagian role of the helper sebenarnya. Yang when I explain to you about defining and maintaining a healthy relationship. So nombor satu tu, for you to find what are actually problem or struggles that faced by Cikgu Amira, her own struggles. Okay. And yang kedua tu, macam mana that personal struggles mengganggu ataupun impact the helping relationships. Okay. Dan yang ketiga, maybe you can try to give some suggestion or like for the best approach lah for Puan Amira untuk ambil dalam keadaan yang dilalui. Okay. Boleh saya tinggalkan awal sedikit, kita jumpa dalam 10:45 lah. 10:15 to 10:45. You have about half an hour, I think, by having a tea, the morning break, and then you can just like jot down or respond to this lah.
Doctor,
Yes.
there's a suggestion. For the question 1, 2, 3, can you copy and paste it on the same slide with the Puan Amira? Yeah, so they can read as well as understand the question.
Okay, sure. Itulah tak sempat Sahila nak.
Tak apa.
Okay, copy. And then I put in the chat box
Chat box boleh ataupun doktor letak dekat case illustration tu dekat under Puan Amira tu.
Ni.
Ya, dekat slide 14 tu. Combine, ya. Jadi mungkin doktor boleh naikkan sikit ke yang illustration tu ke atas or so you have more space. Yeah. Thank you, doktor.
Alright, most welcome. Apa I kecilkan sikit maybe.
Alright. Thank you, doctor.
So I just leave the slide on macam ni
Doktor letak slideshow. Thank you.
Alright.
So we'll come back at 10:45, is it, doctor?
Yeah. 10:45.
So in the meantime, we can complete this task and go for a break if they want to. All right.
Oops.
Dr. Saiko, welcome back. And to the participants, Doctor, if you're ready, you can,
Okay, thank you so much. Welcome back, everyone. So what you have for your morning break? What you have for your morning
Dagang.
Nasi dagang. Wah, sempat kan?
Yeah,
Sedap
stop
ke?
by during to school.
Yang lain makan apa?
Lontong.
Oh, lontong. So ni kira brunch ke minum pagi ni?
Baru breakfast, Doktor.
Breakfast Tengah hari pergi makan lagi? Oh, biryani. Najiha siap makan biryani. Wah, buah-buahan saja Suryati Nariano. Suryati from Indonesia? Donut and teh ais. Nasi goreng. Saya sempat makan nasi lemak. Kan, sempat dah tadi beli sekejap. Makan. Alright. Okay. Sabar. Right, sini. Makan keropok leko. Okay, welcome back. So, can I see hands, our friends, our teachers from Indonesia? Boleh tak raise the hand? Suryati Nariano, Johor. Nama dia tu macam Nariano tu, saya main bantai je dekat Indonesia kan. Inilah orang kata, lepas ni kita belajar pasal effective communication kan. Sometimes it can be like misunderstand. Can I see hands, our friend from Indonesia? Ada kat sini? Kelupis dan kari, Harifah. What is kelupis? Nasi impit
Sabahan food.
Sabahan food. Is that? But it looks like nasi impit? No.
Bukan, macam pulut panggang.
Kelupis. So dia ada ingredients macam pulut panggang jugalah.
Ada yang ada inti, ada yang tak ada inti.
I see. Nak kena try kelupis lah nanti pergi Sabah.
Sangat sedap.
Sangat sedap And it's eating need to eat with curry Nak makan dengan curry.
Selalunya makan dengan kari lah, kari air rendang.
Alright.
Yang ada inti boleh makan begitu saja.
Makan begitu saja. Okay. So can I see hands out our friends from Indonesia ataupun can anyone say hi to me daripada Indonesia? Tak ada hari ni kawan kita daripada Indonesia. How about Brunei? Also no one from Brunei today? How about Cambodia? Harifah daripada Brunei?
Hello, I am from Cambodia. I am good, and how are you?
Hi, Doravek Chong. Is that?
That's Chanty speaking, Doctor.
That's...
Yes.
Chanty
from Cambodia. But now my place is no electricity.
Oh, no electricity?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's difficult to connect with internet.
All right. From Cambodia, from Philippines. Ramai daripada Philippines. Lenny Law, Ria Barboza. Okay, Catherine. Lenny Law, Mari?
Yeah, Lenny Lu Marie Bobo.
Mari Bobo.
Yes.
Right. Hi, Lenny. I think, is it okay if I call you the nickname is Lenny?
Yeah, sure. You can call me.
Catherine, Hedy, right? Ria, Dorowich, and really Z. I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Since yesterday, I'm like
Yes, Doc. It's really Z.
really Z.
Yes, you can
So
call me Z, by the way.
Z. All right.
Yes, Doc.
Okay.
Thank you.
Philippines. How about Thailand? Oh, we have many more. Princess May. Yeah. How about Thailand?
Hi, good morning, doctor.
Morning, Surashe. Surachet? Chai
Yes,
Point.
Surachet Chaiport from Thailand.
From Thailand. Nice meeting you.
Good morning, Doctor.
Morning, Fantip. Okay, Warafon Ratanakit.
Good morning, Doctor.
Good morning. Okay, so but surprisingly we don't have. Thank you so much. Nice meeting all of you from Thailand. Which part of Thailand? The same part or different part? Three of you. Okay.
Different, right?
Different parts.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much. Surprisingly, we do not have our friends from Indonesia today, organizer. Oh, we do have? No one from Indonesia today. The rest is from Malaysia. Okay. Okay. Harifah daripada Brunei. Kelupis adalah makanan Melayu Brunei. Alright. Let's go back here. Already take break just now. We had nasi berdagang, nasi biryani, kelupis, macam-macam dah. So let's come back and try to discuss on this matter. Okay, so maybe we would like to have a representative from Thailand, perhaps, maybe to share your response for this case illustration. Okay, anyone from Thailand would like to share or to respond to this case discussion? Anyone? Surashi, you would like to give a try since you are the one that opened the camera. Give it a try, Surashi. I know that you have it. All right, maybe you unmute yourself first, Surashi. I can't hear you. We really can't hear you. Maybe you unmute first.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I have a problem with my microphone. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. The first question, identify the possible unmet need to.
In the above
okay.
scenarios. Okay.
Okay. I think provide assistance to students by and give advice to the teacher too. Yeah. The first thing I help student give information to friends in the classroom and make friends let friend know with the problem with my student and try to friend in the classroom concentration this problem and help student and help my student. They need to help about and prepare the buddy, for the
For the
student.
students.
Yeah, to help, and 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 I think we need to give the activity analysis for the children with ADHD. You know, make her do her work, but step by step. You know, we need to analyze the activity tag, like tag analysis. Yeah, for the student. Okay.
All right. Thank you,
Okay.
Surashi.
Okay.
All right. I think I've told you before, once you are teacher forever. Okay, so in your mind is everything about students. It is everything about students, what to do best for the students, trying to find what activities that really suit the students. You are thinking about the students forever. So once you are teacher for the whole of your life. Okay, and because when we listen to Surachi's response, I think he's given focus to how to help Liana, how to help Liana that being complained by other teachers. Then teachers might, teachers afraid that she will be the vulnerable to manipulation by her peers. So teacher Surachi come up with the suggestion how basically best to help Liana. But somehow, what we really mean for this exercise, we want to look on the aspect of the teacher. What are the teachers struggling actually in this situation? And okay, so that's why I think the sacrifice of teacher, you always put your all your personal matters aside. So you're always thinking about the students. Okay, but I think I really appreciate that input from Rashi, and it's really give me strike me actually. See, once you're a teacher, you are teachers forever. Even though you are, like you have your own unmet needs, but still, you're thinking about the students. All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Surashi, for that opinion. So maybe we may hear others' opinion. Our friend from Brunei, apa dah tadi makanan dia? Kurapes? Kulapis?
Kelupis.
Kelupis and curry. Harisa, bukan Harisa. Who's that teacher?
Doctor, can I share my opinion regarding?
Boleh, Cik Fauzi. You are most welcome to share yours first. Thank you, Cik
Okay,
Fauzi.
for the first question, the possible unmet needs, I think in this situation, both teacher and Puan Amira and Liana, both of them are having failure to interact with others. So they are having they are having social interactions problems. So I think that is the unmet needs is they are having problems with social interaction. Liana is having a low self-esteem, while Puan Amira is having just recently divorced and then being so lonely.
Okay.
So also for me, she's having also the lowest self-esteem also. So I think the possible unmet need is both of them are having the low self-esteem.
Okay.
And having failure to interact with others because of the issues that they are having. So how possible unmet needs may impact the healthy relationship. So okay, I think because of having this, Puan Amira, I think is having problem to help Liana. So it's either Puan Amira settle his issue first and then help Liana. So I think what Puan Amira should do is having a helping alliance from her colleagues to help Liana. Whereas she tries to settle her own issues.
All right.
Which means that, I mean, the role of the helper is just not he or she herself or himself try to help the students, but could try find other help from the colleagues or the whoever that could help Liana. I think rather than Puan Amira herself try to help Liana, because she on her own has to cope her problem first. So I think the main issues here, the unmet need is low self-esteem, failure to interact with each other, with social interaction, having social interaction, and then the best approaches is Puan Amira try to find help from her colleagues to help Liana first, and then at the same time, Puan Amira also have to find help to cope with her problem also. Rather than she tried to settle the problem herself. She needs help rather than, I mean, coming to work early,
go back late.
Yeah, it's not good for her.
All right.
Thank you.
Cikgu Fauzi. Thank you Cikgu Fauzi. It's really insightful. So again here kan, cikgu ni dia tak boleh lupa juga anak murid dia daripada apa-apa pun. Sebenarnya, like here is basically, so the focus here is about teacher Amira, Puan Amira. But again, I think Cikgu Fauzi also highlighted about Liana as well, because Liana also is another, to tell here that from the angle of the teacher, they focus on the children first. Okay, Liana is struggling with the self-esteem issues, could be perhaps, so we need to help Liana as well. Barulah Cikgu Fauzi pergi dan explains about the unmet needs of teacher Amira, the struggle of teacher Amira, that having just recently divorced, and then she also need to get help on that matter first. Tapi tu cakap, bila cikgu dia fokus dia pada anak murid dulu. So this is actually like, I think like you be in this like profession is really like your children is everything, is basically tells you everything about really meaningful to you lah. Okay. All right. So thank you so much for your response, Cik Fauzi. So I think Cik Fauzi also highlighted that Amira can outreach other colleagues, get help from other people first. Okay, so how basically you can settle the problems with the students you are actually yourself is struggling with. I mean, just put yourself like in the situation like just recently divorced. Divorce is a big thing in life. Okay, a big thing that happened in life. It's not like easily cope like that. It's not like take 1 or 2 days to settle. So she could be like mentally and physically exhausted. Okay, so where she also needs sometimes about herself. And in this situation, just try to reflect on yourself when you are struggling with your personal needs, personal unmet needs. How basically you go about it? Do you go and talk to who that you go and talk about your problems? Not to tell you that you need to talk about your problem, but you need to understand that unmet needs basically will impact your career as well. We are normal human beings. As I said, we experience feeling, a range of feelings. Semua orang akan melalui, merasai pelbagai rasa dalam kehidupan. Okay, despite you are teachers ke, you pensyarah ke, you polis ke, apa semua ada. But how basically you go about in handling your unmet needs, not to impact the relationship or the carrier lah, your carrier. Sebab kita tak nak dia memberi kesan bila kita trying to mix our personal problems and with work, of course kan, dia implikasi dia tak bagus lah kan, hasil dia, the outcome is not really good. Okay, and if we can see here, there are some input as well that have been shared in the chat box. Amira, teachers are like burning candle. Okay, all right, so like a burning candle. Tapi tak cakap, when teachers, you are teachers forever. Okay, Amira could have stress, emotional unstable, and depression. Perhaps because divorce is something big, something like big central life events, negative central life events that happen to her. Okay, Cikgu Amira mungkin emosi tak stabil. Definitely tak stabil Hazwa. Okay, Liana, on my guess, 11 years old girl during physical, hormonal and emotion changes may trigger changes in behavior as well. So that from the aspect of the students, the students needs help on that aspect as well. And teacher Amira can spend some time to talk to Liana and Liana's parent as well. Okay, so it's true, now we are teachers. Of course, our task, our role in this helping process, maybe we would like to try to help Liana and also the parents. Okay, but at the first place, I want you really to analyze what are the struggles that happen to Puan Amira and how does it impact the relationship. So this is one instance of struggles, but there could be other struggles. There could be teachers also, they also have child with special needs. Okay, I think a lot of teachers, they also have a child with special needs that also may disturb, their emotion and so on. Okay, Puan Amira's emotion affecting their students' emotion definitely will affect. So that's why we need to know how to handle. Here is basically where emotional intelligence is really important. But having to say that you are experiencing a big life event, the central life events in your life. So it must definitely, you need sometimes, to pace yourself, okay, to remain calm first before you try to settle the problem, because this problem cannot be settled overnight. Teacher Amira needs time for herself, mentally, physically, emotionally exhausted. Tumpuan yang kurang daripada Puan Amira to Liana because of her personal life problem. It could be one of the way how it affect this process of relationship, because cannot separate her responsibility as teacher and personal problem. Unprofessional teachers. Okay, so to say that you are unprofessional teachers, I think maybe it's not really correct, because that is why it's really important for you know how to settle your unmet need first. If you are aware, that is macam where you go back to the self-awareness of your personal struggles, having emotional intelligence or developing the skills to manage your own emotion, know your boundaries, then I think you will be doing good lah. You can basically cope with the problem. Fokus to children makin kurang dan semangat mengajar pun berkurang. Take a break and have a counselling session to get back on line as teacher. Okay, yeah. Okay, that's some suggestion. Nada so far, impact might tend to be emotional dealing. Okay, with issue if unmet need faced by helper. Okay, unmet needs acceptance. Sometimes divorce is good to her in positive way. Who knows, maybe she gets some privacy and more time to do what she wants to do. Okay, so that is another perspective about divorce. Okay, divorce is another perspective. But here is basically where a general understanding, a general perspective. When you go through a divorce, it's not easy, even though that's divorce is basically that you are looking forward for it, maybe because you cannot handle anymore with the marriage life. But having divorce at the first place is really disturb your whole life and feelings for some people.
Divorce will turn your life upside down, doctor.
Kan, walaupun
it's not I mean, it's not small issue. It's
sebab
it's
itulah
a
saya cakap.
life-changing problem.
Walaupun
So it's not easy said than done, you know. I mean, no.
I agree.
Yes, because when we talk about divorce, it's not easy.
True, betul. Walaupun benda tu yang kita rasa kita dah tak tahan dan we are looking, kita rasa itulah jalan penyelesaian, tapi dia tak semudah itu. Okay, I do agree with that. Okay, impact cannot focus on their child things, feelings and needs. Okay, so sini sebenarnya you tengok satu benda besar ni. So tak sesenang itu for teacher Amira just basically to like separate like that. Okay lah, now put aside my divorce problem, I want to go and meet the parents. Datang pula parents pun ada masalah rumah tangga yang menyebabkan tak boleh bagi fokus pada anak, that make them cannot give focus to the children. Again, okay, it's really will affect you lah in many ways. Okay, so a lot of suggestion here. Okay, anyone, maybe the last one before, I tengok jam sekejap 10 suku, 11, boleh, kita ada masa lagi. So maybe I take another one lah from other countries. Maybe I nak dengar daripada Brunei tadi. Maybe you want to share something with us? Azira daripada Brunei?
Hi, Doctor. I'm from Brunei. Cikgu
Harifah. Yes, Harifah.
Okay, the possible needs, unmet needs, of course, lah yang kena mentioned by other teachers, the loneliness due to divorce, and the impact to the teachers. It can cause mental health issues, you know, like stress, you know, and other feelings, negative feelings, and then in my opinion, the best approaches for Puan Amira is, of course, number one is she needs to get help from others. I mean, consult. I mean, she cannot just deny her feelings, you know, on the loneliness. But at the same time, she needs to take action on Liana case. So for that, she needs to get to know Liana needs first and really understand what Liana needs are. And then the second step is she has to reflect and plan on how those needs can get met. Yeah, that is, yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but in reality, it's happened, kan, Cikgu? When you are struggling with your own personal unmet needs, at the same time you need to face like, or you have another responsibilities of your children, of your students, right?
Yeah. Normally we have to separate, you know, we have to separate, what do we call that? Kena pisahkan macam our problems with our commitment at workplace. I mean, that is our
responsibility. How basically you go about it, Cikgu?
I think separating the personal and our professional, what do we call that? Our workplace punya tanggungjawab lah.
Our responsibilities at the workplace and our personal struggles. Okay, try best lah kan? Try best to do that. Okay, thank you so much, Puan Harifah.
Right.
Okay.
Doctor, I think I really agree with Puan Harifah. And then I think we should look at your slides yesterday when you talk about stages of grieving. The first one is denial, the second one is anxiety, number 3 is fear, and then number 4 depression, number 5 guilt, and number 6 anger. I think we should to cater this problem. I mean, we should have a look at these stages of grieving so that we.
For who? For Teacher Amira kan? Dia juga melalui
Teacher Amira, yeah.
So dia juga melalui fasa-fasa grief.
Yes. So Teacher Amira should look at these stages of grieving. So in which stage is her in? Because in depression or guilt, because when you are having divorce, I think all these six
stages of grieving
you
you went through.
You are facing these six stages at the same time. Denial, anxiety, fear, depression, guilt, and anger. At the same time, we are facing it. So how we are going to help Puan Amira to cater these stages. So I think Puan Amira should find help from the parents, from her parents, from the support system, from the colleagues, trusted colleagues, and maybe from the counselors.
All right. So, yeah, I think it's really great that Encik Farzi also tried to relate to what we have learned yesterday. All right. And it really makes me feel good as well. So maknanya you all dapat lah apa yang kita belajar semalam tu. When we talk about grief, it's not merely we are losing someone in form of death. Kan? Grief happen when we lost something, kita akan grief. Kan? Cuma grief tu dia ada intensity dia ada degree dia lah. Maybe different intensity, different degrees. Kan? So that's why I said yesterday we talk about more on understanding of the other parties, the parents. And today we are discussing on the other party with the teachers. Because to have the collaborative partnership, both parties must be like, equal in terms of like the responsibilities, okay, and then understanding the needs and so on. So that's why I think yesterday maybe it's a quite looks like macam very deep a bit we learn about basically more on the fundamental issues of the parents, and today's we're covering on the aspect of teachers as well. Okay, so thank you so much for the participation from all of you. I really appreciate it. In the chat box, so maybe after this we will have an opportunity to talk if we have more time on this. Okay, all right. So I think it's a time for me now to go to the next presentation. Okay, we are going to look.
Can I know your answer for those questions?
All right.
Your opinion.
Yeah, I think for this, of course, the possible unmet needs in these above scenarios is the struggles that one teacher Amira is facing relating to the divorce, right? Because we know that divorce will impact other things, as you mentioned just now, a lot of things. So that's the main issues happening here. Okay, so divorce, okay, and with that divorce, it will give like implication to herself, to her emotion and so on. So that's why she needs to look into the loneliness aspect that she experiencing right now. Okay, and then why she is having like, of course, like, the life change. So she thought that she go early to work because she just want to avoid that loneliness. Okay, so that is basically that possible unmet needs also may related to other mental health issues that she will be experiencing if she go through the grief or stages that you have mentioned. Okay, and how that possible unmet needs may impact the helping relationship. So definitely she is going to meet the parents soon to update about Liana, maybe the Liana's programs and progress and what's happening to Liana's right now. So definitely it will like not have that helping relationship will not happen smoothly at this stage. So some of you do suggest that maybe she should line up what need to do, and at this time, if teacher Amira feel that maybe she's not ready yet to meet the parents, she just can like take some time, pause for a while, take some space. She may go and talk to the the principals, maybe that this is what I'm experiencing right now. I don't think it's possible for me to meet the parents right now. So I really need some time for myself. So that is like actually showing we communicate in assertive way. We have to be assertive. Assertive ni maknanya kita menyatakan apa yang kita rasa dengan dengan tidak not to hurt others. That assertive. Okay, assertive maknanya kita boleh pergi berbincang, discuss with colleague, or maybe possible you have other pembantu kelas ke, kan? Yang boleh bantu, discuss lah, kan? So that is like among the, of course it's impact it could impact negatively in terms of the helping process at that time with the parents. Macam saya cakap lah, mungkin parents datang, dia pula bawa datang masalah dia daripada rumah pula, kan? They bring their another problem to you and hope that you are going to solve that problems. Habis. Okay? Di situlah. So when you are aware, so that awareness tu penting. Kita nak create self-awareness about what we want actually. How basically we can manage our own emotion at this time. How basically we can identify what we need at this time, what we cannot do at this time. So identifying what you can do and what you can't do first. Kan? So itu adalah penting lah. So I think that is among of my response to this situation lah. Okay, and you all of you have given as well the some suggestion how to basically to go about it, go and get outreach. Dia long term process lah cikgu, kan, dia tak adalah berlaku dalam masa yang ni. Tapi kalau kita nak tengok dalam aspek ni, katalah minggu depan dah the parent teacher meeting, you still like struggling, you rasa macam tak boleh ni, that's why if you are aware of your own mental health status, kan, you say I really cannot take it. Go and talk, go and discuss.
Identify, know your limitation.
Yes, know your limitation. True. And always discuss in assertive way with the pengurusan sekolah. Assertive communication, so you are saying what is supposed to be, what is your right without hurting others. You also need to aware that others may perceive you differently, tetapi on your side, you have say it assertively. Maknanya, you tak bukannya kata dengan marah-marah, bukannya kata dengan, you are not like scolding, you're not like, you be in a professional way lah, in saying
Emotional intelligence.
Yes. And now you get the concept, cikgu. Bagus cikgu ni. Alright. Thank you so much. Okay. I think we go for the next session. I stop sharing first. But I may need sedikit masa, Suhaila. Maybe 5 minit break untuk saya nak bukan finalize slide, saya nak cari slide. Sebab ada satu material yang saya nak kongsi untuk kita buat role play nanti towards the end of it. Boleh kita bagi 5 minute break, Suhaila?
Yes, sure, Doctor.
Alright.
Okay.
Hello, Assalamualaikum. Welcome back. Puan Saila?
Yes, Puan. Masalah ada
Ah,
sekejap.
Monisha Puan Monisha?
Harisha.
Harisha,
Ya,
saya
Puan.
ada share satu dokumen dekat chat.
Okey.
Boleh tak Harisha downloadkan dan masukkan dalam drive nanti?
Boleh?
Drive yang participant punya tu
Okey, boleh.
Right, thank you so much.
Okey, Doktor.
Okay, shall we continue everyone? Boleh kita sambung? Boleh
Doktor.
Alright. Okay, kita akan sambung ke part yang kedua on the basic helping skills lagi. Just now we learned about the process of the helping process, by understanding about what is helping process, the role of clients, okay, and also the roles of helper. So now we are going to learn another two more skills that might help you in your career as teachers, and that might help us lah basically if we can practice in our daily life as well. So we are going to look into communication. Okay, so we are trying to learn about how to basically having effective communication. And yang kedua, kita akan belajar motivational interviewing. Okay, macam saya cakap, as a teachers, we cannot run from like interview parents. Sometimes we interview our children and so on lah. So we try to look how basically with that effective communication and we know the skills how to do motivational interviewing. So that will be really helpful to make like to help you dalam your building collaboration with parents and also teachers. Okay. Okay, when we talk about communication, kan? Communication of course a two-way process, kan? Communication two-way process. We do talk as well, kan? Kita selalu juga bercakap seorang-seorang, bercakap diri, itu dipanggil monologue lah, the self monologue, the internal dialogue with yourself. But when we're talking about communication, it's involved about for the other party to pass the information to another person, kan? So it's happened, communication ni memang berlaku setiap masa, setiap panjang masa dalam kehidupan kita dalam sehari lah. In a day, we cannot run from communicate to each other. Okay, through phones, most of the time, even though we are alone, we're still communicating nowadays. Through what? Through WhatsApp, through like posting, kan? Tweets,
Yes.
Facebook updating, even sekarang dalam WhatsApp pun you update status and you will go through and browse through who see your status and why you cannot see other status. So to that point actually nowadays our life we communicate. So communication, you pass information. Sorry for the disturbance. I think there is something construction happened in my level. Okay. So communication is about passing information from one to another person. Okay. So means that you exchange. It's about communication ni di luas lah. It's about the process of exchange ideas. You exchange thoughts, okay, opinion, knowledge, data. So the message itu will be received and also understand to the other person. And effective communication, for a communication to be effective, to be efficient, to be fruitful, untuk menjadikan communication tu bermanfaat, memberi kebaikan, it must be understood with clarity and purpose, so both sender and receiver will feel satisfied. Maknanya effective communication bila both parties feel satisfied. So they are clear of what has been said by the other party. Okay, both sender and receiver tu puas hati. Okay, kalau kita hanya satu je cakap, satu lagi mungkin rasa upset, mungkin rasa sedih, mungkin rasa frust. So that is not an effective communication. Okay. All right, so we have a look at forms of communication. All right, so there are always lah, kalau saya tak tanya soalan, dia akan jadi macam one way communication saya ni. All right, so even though you are communicating with me through chat pun, it's already good enough for me. And some more, if you want to on your mic pun, lagilah saya hargai. I think we already built the rapport yesterday, as I said. I'm here basically to share my knowledge, some of my knowledge that I may have that you may not have. So kita tak ada saya ni speaker, saya penceramah, tak, kita sama level je. Okay, tapi I really appreciate if you just like can actively engage with me directly pun boleh. Okay, so what types of communication that you are familiar, and which type of communication that you use most? May I know that? Okay, my guest, I think organizer may take note that my guest cannot join afternoon session.
Yeah, we take note, Doctor. Thank you.
All right. So, please share with me what types of communication that you are familiar and which type of communication that you use most.
Hello, doctor. Good morning.
Morning, Heidi.
Yes, it's the most common is the talking or the usual daily conversation.
It's a daily conversation, right? We talk to each other, right?
Yes. And it's the most easy and fastest for me, doctor.
Rather than typing,
yeah, writing.
Even like nowadays, if you call phone, there is a possibilities of other people, other parties didn't pick up your phone, right?
Yeah.
It's better for you like to have like a direct conversation, like talking. Okay, thank you so much.
Yes, you're welcome, doctor.
I'm pronouncing your name right, correctly?
Yeah, it's Heidi, doctor. Correct. Thank you.
All right. Okay, how about others?
Verbal and written.
Yes, Jackus Tadom?
Yeah, yes.
Yes, Jackus.
I usually use a verbal communication and sometimes a written communication.
Verbal communication and written communication. That written communication happen basically in the message?
Yes.
In the posting?
Using WhatsApp, group, Telegram, something like that.
Do you use the social media to communicate?
Yes, sometimes.
All right.
Because we mostly on our handphone nowadays, so there's more writing than talking.
All right, face to face. Okay, thank you, Jacques. From which country you are?
Oh, I'm from Malaysia.
Hey, you're from Malaysia.
Yep, Sarawak here.
Sarawak. Okay, Jacques. Okay. Face to face, sometimes third party Cikgu Najibah menggunakan orang ketiga sampai tak maksud tu. Face to face communication, sometimes call, WhatsApp message, verbal, face emotion, body gestures. Dah cakap oral and written communication. Cikgu Nik Zurida. Verbal. Okay, verbal. Verbal. So most of the time, actually, we are communicating using our verbal communication. All right. So let's have a look on the type of communication. Okay. All right. So verbal communication. So sebagaimana I think as been mentioned by most of the participant here. So most of us basically engage in speaking with others. Okay, that is the easiest way to do it. Okay, so you share the information using words to other people. Okay, so when talking about verbal, it could be spoken. So you speak using words, and also the written communication also it's considered as a verbal communication. Okay, but normally many terms that if we research when we search about verbal communication, normally it's about using words. Okay, all right. So and when we talk about the verbal communication, you really need to be aware of the choices of words that you are using. Okay, so because sometimes what you say when you actually when you're saying about verbal communication, it's not only the words that come out, right? Because it's come together with your tones, with your pitch, right? And it also come together actually with your non-verbal gestures, right? Okay, so that is the most important thing as well that we have to remember for to have like effective communications, even the verbal. Be careful with the choices of words that we use. Okay, and then the intonation that we come along with what we are saying, your tone, your pitch, kan? I think common misinterpretation or misunderstanding when you sometimes reply. It always happen. I don't know, this is just my observation and always happen to me. Sometimes we reply to our spouse or our husband we are replying to what he said but in a different intonation. Sometimes, like macam teachers, because you always have that high intonation, sometimes you just like talk to some people more with that high intonation, so it always being misinterpreted, okay, by other people. Yes, consider also the tones. Okay.
Correct.
Betul kan, cikgu?
I agree, Doctor.
Saya ni pun cikgu juga, pensyarah ni pun dia cikgu juga. So sometimes they tend to tak lah. So sebenarnya kita nak jawab tak lah tu, we just want to stress or highlight maybe that is like not really what it means. Tetapi itulah, because when you communicate, the other parties might interpret you differently, kan? So that is and we also always I think here this sentence or this proverb, kan? Action speaks louder than words. So sometimes we talk, we say, but I think it's better that it been done together with the action. Okay. All right, so that is another first form of communication that everyone been using it. I think most of us. So communicating with parents, pun we use the words, right? So that's why the tone, the way that you speak to initiate the initial conversation. It's really matter. Okay. Okay. Second one. The non-verbal. Okay, so non-verbal is basically process of sending information without using words. So kalau kita tak using words, kita guna apa? Kita guna our gestures, kan? Okay, macam tu ataupun macam ni, kan? So it's actually, but this one also we have to okay, we also have to consider the cultural differences. Okay, when we talk about the non-body language ni, we also need to consider the cultural differences lah. Different cultures, it may give different connotations about certain gestures. Okay, so gestures, okay, paling jelas, paling senang nak nampak apa? Kita punya facial expression. Kan? So susah kita nak sembunyikan because it's really like automatic. If you don't like, we macam, apa macam tu? So kening kita akan berkerut, our
eye contact, Doctor. Lower eye contact.
Lower eye contact, kan? Itulah, eye contact also we have to bear in mind about the culture juga, kan? Sometimes sebenarnya we always say that effective communication we must engage in the eye contact. Yes. Kan, tetapi the level of eye contact itu pun sebenarnya dia memberi it's give a different connotation and meaning as well. The way that you look at the person, kan, dia boleh tengok dengan macam tu, you rasa macam mana. Kalau you tengok macam serious macam tu, kan.
Look can be deceiving.
Sorry?
Look can be deceiving.
Looks and?
Look can be deceiving.
Yeah. Okay. So that also like need to consider the facial expression, the eye contact. Okay. Like your body postures also will tell you something, right? The way that you sit, whether you're interested or not. If I sit like this while giving, I duduk macam ni, kan, while I'm giving presentation to you. Okay, what does it mean to you? You rasa macam you nak dengar tak I punya presentation? Kan? So because now I'm the speaker, I need to like have a one sitting position that, you know, like basically represent me or telling me that I'm interested to basically talking to you or presenting to you. I'm in mode of like ready to talk to you. Okay, even kalau saya tengok partisipan yang duduk, kalau kita duduk pun kan, kita dengar ceramah ke, when we hear or we listen to others also, tengok cara kita duduk. It's also can tell actually whether you are interested, whether you are really taking deeply what have been said or what been shared to you lah. Space also is non-verbal communication, kan? So you just, itulah bila you are creating the parents, teachers conferences or meeting, do you consider about space tak? Do you take into consideration the space, the environment, the space between you want to sit with the parent and teachers? Do you consider that?
Yeah, we consider that.
Consider that, right? Duduk adakah berdepan cikgu dengan cikgu, cikgu dengan ibu bapa duduk berdepan macam tu ke? This sebenarnya it's really like give different meanings and different interpretations or different meanings. Okay, and it will give like different intensity in explaining about like your relationship. Kan? You duduk berdepan ataupun you duduk tepi sedikit, sebab dia ada perbezaan. Okay, ataupun parents duduk di sisi, cikgu duduk di depan macam ni. So maybe if you like sit like macam directly macam tu, it denotes what? It feel like maybe like both of us are really responsible. Okay, kalau duduk di tepi, kalau kita pergi klinik, kenapa kita duduk di tepi when we go to the clinic? So normally the sitting arrangement, we are not sitting in front of the doctors, we are sitting like side by side macam tu kan? Why that arrangement, such arrangement? So consider as well the space. Okay, so I nak tengok dekat chat ni. We also have to be careful using our body language. The interpretation may be different from the message that we want to convey. Eye contact not suitable for autism child. Not suitable in what sense, Cikgu Firdaus? Because autism ni memang one of do not establish eye contact is bukanlah kata itu adalah autism, tak. Tetapi dia adalah simptom-simptom yang ada. Tapi it's not necessarily that bila you tak ada eye contact tu you are autism lah. But to establish a meaningful conversation, we have to look to each other, right? Betul tak? You have to look to each other. Our body language means a lot. Eye contact is not practical for those who are shy. Some people, especially Muslim women, they are refused to see other people's eyes. So inilah saya cakap, ada across all the body language ni, dia ada differences in term of religious belief, in term of the cultural. So itu yang kita perlu ambil perhatian jugalah. Okay. So likewise, for deaf students, sometimes we convey something else, but they understand something else. Body language plays a big role. Eye contact also. So tengok pula across disabilities. With deaf, you want to communicate with them, memang you have to establish eye contact lah while you are doing certain body the non-verbal language, body language punya ni kan. So itu yang you perlu take into consideration as well. Reading lips. Reading lips, that also a form of communication that always being misinterpreted, right, Jackers? Because you are reading lips, you don't know whether it's right or not. Because maybe the other parties like grumbling, like or talking alone. Dia ni memang lah macam tu. Alright, really needs a lot of skills. Okay, mungkinlah saya tak skillful on that matter. Okay, so
Doctor, in my opinion, face-to-face communication, when we combine this verbal and non-verbal communication, we can convey our messages correctly.
Yes, more precise and more correct.
Precise. I think that's the way. When we try to convey our message, by using this verbal and non-verbal communication. I mean, face-to-face communication is the best way.
Yeah.
Sometimes when we write some messages, it will be interpreted differently by our colleagues. So I think face-to-face communication, by combining verbal and non-verbal communication, is the best way.
True.
To convey our message.
It cannot be isolated, cikgu. It cannot be isolated. It
Yes.
goes together. So
It
that's
goes
why
together.
when you
Right.
maybe when you go for another like lebih higher skills of giving or delivering to be the influencer, you tengok influencer bercakap, you tengok how basically a charismatic leader when they talk, their body language, cara tangan kita bercakap pun kan macam tu ke, kita pegang macam ni pun, it's really give different meanings. So I do agree with you that we cannot separate, the verbal and the non-verbal communication. It normally comes together and it's complement each other. Okay, it's complement each other.
Right.
So I think it's important as well for the teachers actually to develop or to learn that skills, how to basically, if you want to be the influencer to the parents, how it should be, the way that you're talking, the way that you're sitting, the way that you show interest in discussing about the child progress, kan? Or teachers also may at that time want to say like a bit firm to parents. So with your different tones, with your different space between parents and teachers, kan? Semua tu adalah peranan yang sangat penting lah dalam relationship with the parents.
Other than that, doctor, I think by having face-to-face communication, people can look at your sincerity in the communication. I mean, by right, when we look at people, when we look into when we are having eye contact with other people, we know is he or she is telling the truth, is lying. I mean, the sincerity is shown there during the communication.
Betul cikgu. So I think also I think with that we should bear in mind, so when we interact face to face, verbal communication, try to avoid distraction. Nowadays I think sangat yang adalah distraction kita yang ni. Betul tak? Phone ni. So you can having conversation while you're texting others, replying to message, kan? So you just like macam sometimes like sebab you rasa macam dalam message tu also important for you to reply to this message. So you should really know the priority right now. So I think if we go back to previously kan, our life when we do not have the smartphone, we use that phone for communication as well, one medium of communication. But nowadays, this is actually like one of the things yang is really influence our ways of communication. Sampai the real communication that happening in front of you is really like disturbing because of this lah. Kan? So because of the phone and so on.
It goes back to adab, doctor. Adab, that is adab for in Islam. I think
maknanya kita go back to the basic, the fundamentals of the
fundamental of communication.
Fundamental of communication, when you talk macam mana. So if you can go back to that, it's really awesome lah cikgu. Kan? So I think we need to constantly remind ourselves about it.
It's true, doctor. Sometimes the smartphones mendekatkan yang jauh, but at the same time menjauhkan yang dekat.
Betul. Kan? Alright. Mari kita buat brain teaser sikit lah. Okay. Gambar ni kan, it could be like, yelah mungkin is some culture differently, tapi kita just tengok je lah. Just like saja-saja untuk kita brain teaser a bit. Kan? Kalau you tengok dekat gambar ni, kan, which woman basically hold the man's interest? Yang mana yang rasanya menarik perhatian lelaki yang tengok dia? Okay, just ignore lah about some ni, tapi inilah picture yang saya boleh take from the internet just for this activity. Mana yang rasanya nampak interest pada lelaki tu? Lelaki tu rasa dia akan interested pada perempuan yang mana? Dengan body language, we are focusing on the body language here, not other things. Which picture? 1, depend on the interest. 3, 2, 1 looking confident. 1 looking confident. Depends. Okay, 1. Okay, lagi. 1, 2. 1 is attractive. 2 is facing the man from head to toe. Okay. Right. 2. 1, 2, 2. All right. Okay. So if according to the answer lah that I've got this picture, number 2 actually, because I think as being said by this Tatia Avery, because she is facing the man from the head to toe. Maknanya nak nampakkan kita interested pada orang tu, apa yang kita boleh pelajari lah from this picture, okay? To show that our interest to others in term of like communicating ke apa, we have to face like secara berdepan lah. Maknanya facing the man from the head to toe. Okay, ni dalam konteks ni. But you can amend lah in your context with the parents. You feel how basically you can make the parent interested to talk to you. Tu saya cakap, the seating arrangement is actually penting juga. Tapi from what I've read as well, and from what I've get from the teachers kan that I've interviewed when we conducting research and so on, one of the constraint ialah the space in the school. Sometimes there is no space in term of facilities pun tak ada tempat nak buat parent teachers meeting. So sometimes you just like macam tangkap muat lah. So that is like the term that has been described by the teachers to me. Tangkap muat, doktor. Buat kadang-kadang ada pantry kosong, buat dekat pantry. So you have another class kosong, you buat kat sini. And sometimes when you are doing here, another teacher come in, you have to go to the other class. So that is like what I've got from some of the teachers as well about it. So maybe that also happen in your context. So kalau yang ni, one is too overwhelming. So kalau you interpret on other things, maybe you will have different meaning and different interpretation lah. Tetapi in term of like body language, it's actually showed number 2, because number 2 is facing the man from right to toe. Maknanya apa pengajaran, the lesson that we can take from this activity, if you really like interested to talk to someone, you need to like be physically like there and like facing in terms of your body language is body position is like facing to that person. Okay. Okay. Ada lagi tak? Alright. Yang ni. Activity yang kedua. Which woman you think is hiding something from you? Which woman daripada 1, 2, 3 ni yang dia menyembunyikan sesuatu daripada you?
I'll go for 2.
You go for 2?
Yeah.
Okay. Why you think you go for 2? Your explanation for 2?
Okay, sorry. Okay, I go for 2 because she's holding her ear, so that means there's something she want to hide.
Macam tu biasa we do like this bila alright. 2.
She looks uncomfortable.
She looks uncomfortable. Okay, 2. So how many of you said 2? 2. 4. Who said 4 here? Number 2 looks more awkward. The hand and ear show that maybe she's not the. She was stopping herself from saying something. Ada yang cakap nombor 4.
Doktor. Doktor, nombor 1 tu macam saya, pretending.
Oh, siapa yang cakap ni? Zahurin kan?
Zahurin.
Zahurin on lah kamera, tak tengok lagi muka Zahurin. Nak kenal juga. Kan. Hai Zahurin. Zahurin sekolah mana?
Dari Perak.
Oh, dari Perak. Okay. So here basically if you pretending something, you
I will show that macam normal lah, nothing like happen.
Okay. Alright. Okay. Make sense for you. Alright. So yang lain, ada tak jawapan-jawapan lain dan how you going to describe about it? Thank you so much Zahrin.
You're welcome.
Number two, because she's covering her mouth. Hmm. Ada lagi yang nak cakap, nak bagi pendapat?
Number 4 is like membawang. When actually dia nak membawang,
Membawang. Our friends from
I
other
have to
country,
cover.
do you aware? Do you know what is a membawang means? Tak tahu Membawang here in Malaysia we have a term membawang which is referring to gossiping. So onions. So this is one words that you learn today.
Her parent tell her to keep it as a secret, and then naturally it's come out from the mouth, and then she said, "Oops," like that.
Betul, kan? Sebenarnya, if we try to recall, we do this kan? Bila kita ada dia macam unconsciously actually, oops, ataupun yang telinga tu pun saya, I think if myself, I think I'm number 4 as well. If I'm hiding something, because you're trying hiding something, but unconsciously you know that it's not right. So dia macam kan dia macam terus macam tu. Okay, so I think if you look at the answer pun dia memang number 2 and number 4. Okay, tetapi I think Zahurin gave one expression of herself. If she trying to hide something, she just like pretending it's nothing. So macam tak ada apa. So kan like that lah. So this one also could be interpreted differently actually. Kan, your body language. Tapi what we can learn lah from these two pictures is basically, the body language, your body postures does really matters when you want to communicate to others. Okay. All right, written. So when we look at the written communication, so anything lah that you write the message, informal or less, informal or informal. Okay, informal and also informal written form. Kan? So written ni macam I cakap nowadays, maybe we use a lot of written as well, written through WhatsApp, kan, through message. Tetapi memang betul, I think agree Dr. Cikgu Fauzi cakap tadi, be careful because it can be read and interpreted differently. Kan, you tulis the message tapi orang yang baca tu they can read with a high pitch or high tone, high intonation, kan, so it will already like they interpret it in a different way, kan. So written, so when you look at this picture, so it consists of like basically written instruction here. Okay, what's your opinion for this picture? Okay, so it's basically about telling how to hold the chopstick. Hold first chopstick in original position, move the second one up and down, and now you can pick up everything. What do you think? What is your opinion about this picture?
The instruction is too simple.
Too simple.
Yes.
Too simple until we barely understand, right?
Yes.
Because like it's too simple, too general, message did not deliver very well. Okay, so I think you teachers, you use a lot as well of the written communication in the schools, okay, to your children. Some children are visualized, some children are good in reading written. Okay, too long, Firdaus said too long, Aisyah cakap general, so message did not deliver very well, did not clear direction. Itulah kalau saya yang tak pernah pakai chopstick, I don't know. I think sampai ke sudah I cannot pick up the food. Kan? Not all written can be understood, sometimes a misinterpretation, confusing. I literally try it. So Jivin, you literally try it. So did you manage to get everything? Okay. All right. Let's have a look at second. This one. How about this one? Okay. The written instruction, how to reuse the wrapper. What you think about it? Maybe someone want to try it as well. Like Jivelin tadi dia dah try about instruction for chopstick. So few steps, but it can turn into beautiful swan. Susah. Instruction not clear. Now I am swan. True, kan? So not clear, too simple. Sometimes kan? Oh, right. Too simple. So Jackers already turns into a beautiful swan. Difficult to apply, specific instruction are missing. But why must one? Yes, too simple, kan? Origami taking many steps though. Using video tutorial is the best. Okay, so I think, yeah, so I don't know whether the message is being delivered effectively or not, kan? Kalau I terus campur je. Kan dah to reuse the wrapper. But I think the main goal, the main outcome for this nampak macam is a turn into the beautiful swan. So it's trying to inculcate that you can reuse actually the wrapper. You can turn it into origami and so on. But I think the message is not clear until I think if I'm the one that do this, I cannot make it. Like I think maybe I also become a swan like a Jackers juga lah. Kan? Turn rubbish to something beautiful. Yeah, that's the message, Arisha. Kan, kronyok macam roti canai. So that is I think the best that we can lah kalau kita tengok kepada that kind of pictures with this instruction. 1, 2, 3, beautiful swan. Okay, alright. So visual, we use image to illustrate our message. Okay, so we use image to illustrate our message. I think banyak nowadays dalam WhatsApp. In our message, we use a lot of graphic, the GIF tu kan, GIF tu, yang bergerak-gerak, yang senyum, yang macam-macam. So through that image as also nowadays, it also can convey you something, convey you information or convey you message. Okay, when you like, what kind of icon that you give. When you dislike, yes, emoji, betul Adila. So emoji, animated GIF, the screenshots, the videos, emoticon, infographic. So that is basically in visual communication. Okay, so coming back here for the using the visual image, sometimes it can convey very strong message. Contohnya, if you use the infographic. I think infographic is one of the way to convey message yang sangat bagus lah. If you have like a strong message to convey, you can convert it into infographic. So some people they are visualized or try to make like try to simplify, tetapi yet the information is still there. Okay, so that the visual communication. Okay, so kita banyak lah ni kita guna if we use this. Okay, macam ni. Jom kita buat brain teaser sekali lagi. Can you guess? Okay, the idioms. But this is the English idioms lah. Okay?
Raining cat and dog.
Huh?
Raining cats and dogs.
Raining cats and dogs. So maybe some of you already like experience this. Okay. Yang nombor 2 tu apa? Yang kita tengok sikit. Piece of cake. Yeah, it's a piece of cake. Nombor 3?
Money don't grow on tree.
Money doesn't grow on tree. Pokok duit adalah. Kan? Money not come from tree. Okay, nombor 3. Nombor 4. Ni kalau you cari dekat internet, tak achieve. Tapi tak apalah. This only like the brain teaser while like we having some activities lah. Okay. Alright, boleh habiskan sampai nombor 5. Don't count the eggs before they hatch. Don't count the eggs. Okay, last one.
Don't play the game with fire.
Don't play with fire.
Alright. Thank you.
Kan, I'm lacking of idiom. Tak apa Najibah, kan nanti saya bagi yang bahasa Melayu. Ada juga I got that yang Malay one kan, the Malay idioms. But I think this is examples lah of the visual image, to illustrate the message. And nowadays they turn into teka-teki like this, like guessing. So it quite interesting sometimes, boring-boring you dapat apa benda ni, you pun berfikir lah, so it makes your brain think sekejap outside of your work. Okay, like kind of piece of cake, yeah. So I have like more, tapi mungkin kita tak buat lah. So ni ada lagi, right? Okay, the last one. These are the form of listening yang kita selalu, I think we always don't really aware. Listening also is one form of communication. Betul ke tak? Do you agree that listening is one form of communication?
Yes, doctor.
How you can explain about it, if you may explain about it, how it will become one form of communication? Okay, looking at the listening, it's actually the key. This is the main key for all effective communication. Okay, without the ability to listen effectively, of course, message will be always misinterpreted or misunderstood. Okay, so when talk about listening, it's not merely being quiet when the other party talk. Okay, when the other party say something, it doesn't mean that being quiet you are listening. Sometimes you're being quiet, you are not listening, right? You are grumbling inside your heart, kan? So listening here, if you want to have an effective communication, you must actively listen to the other party. And active listening is actually require, okay, not only you to be quiet when someone's speaking, but it's also involving the hearing with the senses. Okay, you hear, you sense, you receive, you understand, you evaluate, and you give feedback. Okay, so that is basically active listening, where we will look further after this lah. But this one is like introduction for the form of communication. All right. So how to build an effective communication? So just now we learned the form of communication. Now we go and have a look of the effective communication happen when you know your audience, you know to whom that you are talking or you are delivering the message. So in your context, you know your audience is parents. So it's already like one step to have the effective communication. Okay. Number two is to have or to have the ability or to engage in the active listening. So active listening, meaning you give like full attention in communication exchange. Okay. And as I said just now, when we talk about active listening, it doesn't mean that you are quiet. Okay. It doesn't mean that you are quiet je, dengar. Maknanya orang bercakap, you dengar. Kan? Not only, but that it's involved other activities behind it. And clear message. Okay. After this, we're going to look about how the 7 C's basically, okay, the 7 C's of communication in communication will make the communication like more effective. And the right medium and platform. Okay, choosing the right medium to communicate really matters. Sebab itulah kita rasa kalau benda tu perlu untuk berjumpa face to face, you need to have a face to face meeting. Let's come and have to face to face meeting. Okay, so it's important. All right. So you know your audience. Okay, know your audience. I think just now I already highlighted about it, but I think in your context, many of you as well highlighted about differences in socio-economic background. It is true, it's really affect the communication. Okay, it really affect the process of communication, the process of helping. That's why I think earlier or yesterday I did mention, it is really good if you can have a profile of your children in class. Profile consisted of like the background of the families, ayah kerja apa, mak kerja apa, ada berapa adik-beradik, pendapatan. I think you have that data and info, but I think maybe sometimes that data and info without like really, sometimes there are stories behind it, kan? When you write about pendapatan, ada yang tulis pendapatan yang rendah, tetapi sebenarnya you tengok pendapatan, kalau you tengok, if you look, it's not looks like that they are in a lowest economic status, kan? So it could be different. So it's good to know your audience, to ensure when you know your audience better, it also, the message too will be delivered effectively. All right. Active listening. Active listening meaning giving full attention. So if you look at the synonyms of active listening, it also mentioned it's a conscious listening, deliberate listening, deep listening. And I think I love this one. I suka guna terms ni juga, ialah mindful listening. When you have a mindful listening, maknanya you process the information. So it doesn't mean when you, and we also must remember that when we receive information, it's not necessarily for us just to like straight away respond to it. Okay, so listening is not necessarily straight away respond to the other person. Okay.
Doctor, if you don't mind, can you differentiate this conscious listening, deliberate listening, deep listening, and mindful listening?
Okay, this sebenarnya cikgu for ni adalah another terms for active listening. So saya letak di sini, maknanya dia adalah maksud yang mempunyai maksud yang sama. To explain about active listening ni, conscious, maknanya conscious you sedar apa yang orang cakap. Sebab kadang-kadang saya cakap when you are listening, sometimes you just like constrain yourself from speaking je, tetapi you tak dengar pun, you tak buka pun telinga you ni. Tapi contohnya, saya bagi contoh, kadang-kadang when we say to our children, when I speak, you have to listen, you have to keep quiet. So pun they keep quiet, right? Tapi do you think that they are really processing what you are saying to them? Tak. They sometimes they just like keep quiet because you ask them to keep quiet. Tetapi when active listening, you are really conscious, you sedar, dalam sedar, kan? And deep listening. So deliberate listening, mindful listening ni adalah another terms cikgu yang kita guna pakai to explain what is active listening. Okay? Mindful ni kita berada dalam keadaan yang sedar, keadaan yang aware. Kita sedar apa yang orang tu tengah cakap. Orang tu mungkin tengah cakap dalam keadaan yang marah. Parents tu mungkin tengah cakap in you know, in they are talking in frustration tones. Okay, so kita sedar. So that are mindful and also deep listening. Okay, looking how to practice the active listening. Okay, so there are certain or the few techniques. Okay, nombor satu tadi kita cakap. Nombor satu ialah paying attention to the body language. Okay, so we already like explain I think quite comprehensively about body language just now. So body language is really matter because sometimes non-verbal communication ni memang is they speaks loudly compared to the verbal communication lah. So when you speak, you look directly to the speaker, but yeah, up to you. Maybe you want to consider your religious practice, perhaps. Some of you maybe few ethnicity, you know, they really don't like into like eye contact, don't really establish like direct eye contact. So itu adalah faktor-faktor contextual yang kita perlu sedari as well, the contextual factors as well. Okay, and try to put aside the distracting thoughts because when we listen, we try to evaluate, and we have our own preconceived ideas or you know like the existing ideas about that person. Okay, it take a practice. Dia bukannya macam terus macam tu, tapi it take a practice that when you try to listen to others, when others want to tell you something, try to avoid any distracting thoughts or any preconceived ideas about what he or she going to say to you. Okay, and as I tadi pun kita dah highlight lah, try to avoid the distracted by environmental factors. Okay, side conversation. So tengah cakap-cakap, tiba-tiba kawan, you know, your friends pass by and you say, sekejap. You just imagine. So when you in that position, it's already like macam disturb you a bit. Kan? Okay, and then so that basically side dipanggil the side distraction lah. Okay, side distraction, phones, replying to the message. Okay, so paying attention to the body language. So that is like these are the steps for you or the techniques for you in order to build or to practice the active listening. Right, encouraging verbal cues during the conversation. Okay, so again, using the body gestures, using the body language to maybe you want to encourage others to talk. So maybe the way you see ataupun oh selepas tu macam mana ya? So the way that you nodding your head, that is the cues yang actually can make the other parties actually interested to share you or to tell you stories or to tell you their problems and so on. Okay, smile. That is the facial expression yang paling senang. Okay, smile, look, smile, nodding head. I think that is, the most common things that we can do. Okay, and sometimes encourage the speaker to continue talking. Kan? Only like you can make use of the everyday language or terms that you're using. Contohnya, oh macam tu ya. I see. So that is a very macam normal comments kan kita selalu dengar, tapi kalau orang cakap, I see. Oh, that's nice. Okay, so cuba try to learn, okay, to incorporate this as well in your conversation. So encouraging verbal cues. All right. Third ialah practicing non-judgment. I think I touched this one as well. Try not to have like preconceived ideas about what they are going to say. Even though maybe when they come to you with certain ways, you dah ni rasanya so you already have put you have already have perception, or you are going to interpret in the different ways from what actually will be happen after this. So that is a try to practice non-judgment.
Bias.
Yes, bias. Okay, so also try to avoid the counter arguments, even though sometimes you know that is not correct. Tetapi I think sometimes when you counter the argument, it will make other parties maybe okay lah, already like lost their interest to tell more, or lost their interest to like continue to speak. So try to avoid the counter argument. Okay, so and in doing this kan, for when kita cakap practicing the non-judgment ni, is actually memang related to our values and belief jugalah, and that it take time for us as well to practice lah. Okay, and as a listener, so our role is to understand of what being said. Okay, trying our best lah basically to reflect of what have been said to us. Okay. All right. Asking questions necessarily to confirm their statements. Okay, so this is basically to reflect lah. We want to reflect what have been said. Kita boleh paraphrase balik. Kita boleh repeat. Bukan paraphrasing ni macam mana. Kita boleh summarize balik lah kan. So what I'm hearing, you are saying this. Kita nak confirmkan balik. Oh, saya dengar cikgu, saya dengar puan cakap Alif bla 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 bla. Betul ke apa yang saya dengar? Sometimes we want to confirm. So it's not wrong for us to like rephrasing what have been said to us, or not to repeat, tetapi kita summarize and try to reflect and try to check whether it's a correct or not lah. Okay, so it's a good practice in fact kan. I don't know whether you do it, tetapi sometimes bila kita dengar, we just tend to listen quietly and then we try to process, and we have like ideas about what's going on. But sometimes we may also have lack of information, so we want the other parties actually, or we want a confirmation, so we can go like that lah. So we can just like, oh, what do you mean when you say Alif doesn't like to come to school? Contohnya. Alright? Right? So, ataupun boleh tanya dia, is that what you mean? Okay, is that what you mean? And sometimes kita tend to listen, maybe also like we are responding emotionally. Kita pun orang biasa kan, bila kita bercakap ni, sebab tu cakap the best is try to avoid the counter arguments. Okay, but sometimes we also may respond emotionally to what they have been told us. So what we can say ialah, I may not understanding you correctly, and I find myself taking what you said personally. So we can just say like that. So saya mungkin tak faham sangat apa yang puan cakap, ataupun mungkin saya faham ni secara personal. So what I thought you said is apa yang saya dengar puan cakap tadi macam ni, macam ni, macam ni. Tak salah, kita nyatakan that is a assertive communication juga. As I said just now lah, assertive communication when you say to others like your intention, what you are feeling without hurting others. Alright? So asking questions maknanya reconfirming lah about what the other party is telling you. Not being too quick in giving answers and solution. Okay, macam tadi lah. Tadi kita dah cakap lah, kita bukan problem solver. So sama juga dalam communication pun, not too quick to give solution. Okay, so this is where your motivational interviewing that you are going to learn after this is really important. Okay, so we try to allow the speakers to finish each point before asking questions. All right, so this is some of the techniques how to build ataupun how to go about with the active listening. All right, any questions so far? Ada apa-apa soalan? Pukul berapa dah kita? 12:30. Okay.
Doctor,
Yes.
number 4, asking question necessarily to confirm their statement. Could I give my opinion?
Sure.
Regarding that, I think maybe that asking the right question in a suitable time, at a suitable time, also practicing active listening. Asking the right question at a suitable time.
Kalau cikgu bagi contoh?
For example, that when to show that we listen to the people that giving their speech. And so when we have questions, we ask the right questions to show that we listen to him. Rather than we
also
ask.
can be part of the practice for active listening juga, cikgu.
Yeah. Correct, doctor.
Cuma sometimes kan, maybe when you get stuck, maybe when you get like macam dicakap banyak sangat, so you trying to understand. So it's not wrong actually for us to macam reconfirm balik. Saya dengar puan cakap macam ni, betul tak pemahaman saya? Saya takut betul tak pemahaman saya? Tak payahlah kita ulas, saya takut salah faham. Nanti dia akan rasa lain lah. Be like simple and precise, concise. Okay, so tadi saya dengar tuan cakap anak tuan ni bla 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 bla. Okay, betul tak apa yang saya faham mengenai alif? So ataupun boleh tak tuan jelaskan sikit lagi macam mana that thing happen? Contohlah. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Alright. Thank you for your suggestion too. So giving the speaker to finish their speech before interrupt or giving opinions. Okay. Nodding eyes, I contact yes. Viviana Stefan. Alright, so where are we right now? Clarify the communication in a way that include the 7 C's. Sebenarnya yang ni you boleh baca lah. Dia ada je tell about how to have a 7 C's in communication. Okay, so 7 C's on communication when you after identify your audience, listen to them attentively, so we can then practice communicate our message using 7 characteristics of communication. All right, so it must be clear, right? Clarity, what you are saying, communicate clearly with no room for, try to avoid lah a misunderstanding. Misunderstanding to always sometimes it may occur, but try to avoid your best. Uh, you know, from that misunderstanding to occur lah. Okay, when you are giving advice or when you're giving suggestion, use a simple language. Focus on the core points of the message. Okay, sometimes tak payahlah cakap guna-guna pepatah kan, ataupun berkias-kias. I think you use the idioms, you use the quite higher words, try to be direct, try to be simple lah. Maybe if that's your audience, okay, if that's your audience lah. Okay, so be clear apa yang you want to say before you say it. So your mind also needs to be clear, okay, and then concise, okay, convey your points in a concise way, short sentences, okay, to keep the other party interested to listen to you, okay. And concise communication is non-repetitive. Kita tak repeat banyak kali kan. Be concise je. Kalau nak cakap terus direct dan kita tak cakap banyak kali. Saya rasa kena buat macam ni. Lepas tu nanti kita ulang lagi. Kan? Ada sometimes in our conversation kita pun rasa macam we feel like not nice if we like keep repeating the same message. Okay, so it must be correct. Okay, right again lah, correct. It's also related to the specific or the suitable language that you use. Okay, try to use the language free of mistakes. Tetapi kadang-kadang I think if we considering the language barriers too quite difficult as well lah to have like a correct language. So that's why sometimes you need to know how to basically make it simple. Okay, and clear, correct, complete. So make sure nothing is missing. Okay, make sure your sentences is complete. Bukannya ayat tergantung. Alright, so sometimes we encounter kan yang people communicate with us, tetapi it's not complete the sentence. So sometimes we just wonder. So what basically the message or what actually he's trying to say? Okay, and I think the incomplete communication juga always happen with the body language. You masuk, you letak je macam tu, and you expect the other party faham lah you penat. Alright, so we always have that. Okay, so try to avoid the incomplete message. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Coherent. Okay, coherent makes sense lah. The logic, the flow of your communication. So mesti flow logically. So think carefully about the order of your points. Where you want to discuss with the parents, what aspect you should go first. Maybe you should go with the positive aspect first of the children, highlighting the strength. Then after that, you come back to maybe this challenge that faced by the students. Okay. All right. Courteous. Okay, courteous ni involving the respect lah. So when we are talking, we are communicating, always remember to respect each other, even though you have a strong feeling to convey to them. But make sure it's being conveyed in an assertive way. Again, I'm using the assertive way. Assertive ni dia adalah satu skills tau. Skills where you are saying what you want to say, but it's not hurting others. It's a skills that you need to learn. Assertive, how to be assertive. All right. So that is basically, and also courteous involving being transparent lah in whatever you want to say to the parents. Okay. Next, okay, choosing the right medium to communicate, it also really matters. So right medium, right platform. Okay, we need to consider the platform lah we are using to communicate. So choose it wisely. There are certain families or certain parents that maybe cannot make it, like to come to the school face to face. So what do you think the best medium? Do you think that call is better for this family rather than typing message to them? Okay, so that's also really matters. So to ensure that message being delivered and the effective communication happen lah within that period that we want. Okay. All right. Teachers' communication with the parents of special children ni, I think I may skip this one. You can just like read, but basically just about, I think we also covered about this secara indirectly lah. When we talk to your children, you need to praise them. I think you talk about giving the praise and reward for the, cherish them for the little achievement, okay? And help the parents to handle the child's disability, giving information. I think I really interested to one of the points shared by our teachers from Thailand yesterday, kan? When they only shared the information of the job career, not actually like making them to go to go and find job, but it's actually like sharing information. Sharing information is essential lah for these families. Okay. I just want to highlight number 6 here. Various disability among children have common traits, so teachers should avoid diagnosing a child or labeling them to prevent the anxiousness within parents. Kita tahu kan bila we are dealing with a kid with disability, there are certain traits that look similar. Maybe they are autism, they also co-occurrence with ADHD. Ataupun nampak dia dyslexia, tetapi you rasa dia hyperactive. So when you talk to the parents, you tend to talk in that way. So try to avoid, try to label that mungkin yang boleh menimbulkan lagi that make them to feel anxious. Okay, to create more anxiousness and also worries in the within the parents. So the best that you can do is like try to highlight what is actually the main problem without labeling whether you rasa anak ni ada ADHD kot, mungkin should check for ADHD juga. So sebab once that words come from the teacher, parents will keep it. So dia rasa macam, cikgu cakap anak dia ada masalah ni. Cikgu cakap. Because normally when parents come to see us clinical psychologists ni kan, so they will bring that, okay, so you're coming to us, basically kenapa? Because the teachers tell that she or he may have the ADHD traits, hyperactive dalam kelas, tak boleh duduk diam, kacau kawan. So mungkin cikgu rasa mungkin should check for ADHD. So try to avoid that lah, talking about the diagnosis, go into like medical medical things lah for the children. Okay. So these are the teachers parents communication. I think tak apalah kita ni sebab saya nak pergi kepada motivational interview ni. Okay, kita nak belajar sedikit apa itu motivational interviewing. Alright, so untuk motivational interviewing, okay, motivational interviewing ni asalnya it is being used actually in the field of counseling, psychology, okay, to help the professionals to find motivation to the other party to make a positive behavior change. Contohnya when we are working with parents yang ada addiction, okay, addicted drug addiction ke ataupun professionals that working with people who want to change, dia ada masalah obesity, dia nak change kepada healthy lifestyles. So we use a lot lah techniques of motivational interviewing. But okay, also I read in many empirical studies lah, in the studies that have been conducted, motivational interviewing also, has been applied in the context of education, especially when teachers are talking to parents. So it can really helps to basically helps in developing the initial context with the parents, to make parents are more interested to come and also to talk more to the client. Okay, so there are 4 elements in motivational interview: engaging, engaging where you want to get your foot in the door. So maknanya nak masuk dulu ni, nak make the contact, the initial contact with the other party, to engage, to agree to the participates. So that basically the first step or the first element in motivational interviewing. Then number 2 is focus. Okay, focus when you determine the direction of your work with the parents. Evoking, okay, when you try to target, you already identify the target behavior of the children. Could be you want them to change, or the target behavior of the parents. You want the target behavior is to make the parents like participate 10% in terms of child activities. So you have very measurable target lah. So you can you can apply the motivational interviewing techniques in order to evoke the motivation of others. Evoke ni maknanya untuk tak boleh nak translate dalam bahasa Melayu. Maybe Suhaila can help me to find what is evoking in Malay. But basically, it's basically to make other party to activate other parties to motivate to change lah, to have a motivation to change. Planning a proper and detailed plan for a change. Tetapi hari ni, I would like to focus on engaging first. How you teachers can use the motivational interview to make other parties engage, okay, with you. Kita nak buat membangkitkan, evoke, itulah, to activate the desire to change. Alright. So motivational interview, MI, kita guna the acronym of MI, are helping people identifying their own reason for making change for the better. So by using motivational interview, the other party will realize sebenarnya they have to change, they have to commit to this, they have to participate with the children's activities. So they feel that positive behavior change is possible within their controls. Okay, okay, using your ORs. Or ni kan, kalau kita literally translate ORs tu mengaum lah. Okay, so kita tengok what does it mean. ORs ni adalah techniques, another techniques that we can incorporate dalam motivational interviewing in making other parties to engage. Okay, to engage. Okay, so you can use the open-ended questions to build the engagement. Alright, open-ended. So soalan yang kita gunakan tu, try to, even though you are focused on the learning, okay, but you are trying your best to use the open-ended questions rather than close-ended. Close-ended, they will respond to you like, yelah tu, tak, ya ataupun tak. Alright, tapi open-ended, you know, that can make them, ataupun it's an opening for a conversation for you to have like more questions and answers after that lah. Alright, so maybe some of the examples kan, you can ask them like, what's been going well in this years? Apa perkara baik dah berlaku pada tahun ni? Alright, so what things that you admire about your family? Okay, so there are some of the questions, or maybe you can ask, if you want to ask the challenge, you can just like ask, what are some challenge you and your child have overcome in the past years? Okay, so you can also ask, what you like or you dislike about the school? Kan? So dia memerlukan penerangan. It not make the participants to answer yes or no, but the participant need to explain. Yeah, soalan general, Cikgu Najibah. Yeah, soalan general, you can be general, tetapi you make sure that it's open-ended. Maknanya, the other parties need to explain. The other party needs to explain. Dia bukanlah antara ya atau tak, betul atau tidak. Alright. Contohnya, do you like it? If you ask, do you like the school? They may say like, boleh lah, I like it, or I don't like it. But when you ask what you like, apa yang puan rasa okey ataupun puan rasa tak okey mengenai sekolah kita. So bila kita tanya apa, it could be the explanation that come along lah. Okay, and you can, as a teacher, you can ask, how can I be of most to help you? Macam mana saya boleh bantu macam mana saya cikgu ni boleh bantu puan dalam hal ni? Alright, so what things that you need better support from us? So that are the questions that you can ask, open-ended questions. Okay, affirmative. Okay, affirmative ni start with the positive statement. Kan? So selalu bila first time or for the first time parents come to you during the parent teachers day, what basically your first response to parents? Saya nak tahu the first response je. Apa yang cikgu-cikgu cakap pada ibu bapa? Please do share with us.
Who's your children?
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for coming. How's your children? Okay.
May I know what's your children's name?
May I know what's your children's name? Okay. Thanks for coming. All right. Good to see you. Okay.
How are you?
How are you? All right. So I think I read in one articles about a example of a good beginning of conversation kan for affirmation with parents and teachers. They memang start dengan thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for taking the time. Okay, thank you for taking the time to come to the school to talk to me about your son. Okay, boleh mute tak Puan Cikgu Zurida? All right, so I think that is basically a good examples to show that you are caring, that you are genuine. So start by thanking them. Thanks for taking time to come to the schools. Okay, despite your busy schedules, you still come. Okay, walaupun lambat hari ni, puan datang lagi untuk discuss mengenai anak puan. Alright, and then after that, continue lah with maybe like Anik dalam kelas dia seorang budak yang menceriakan ataupun dia seorang budak yang try to find what are the strengths that basically start with the good statement and good affirmation first for the parents, because from there it's already like can instill a little hope for them, or can give some optimism for the parents about the children. Okay, so affirmative. Reflection tadi kita dah talk about it as well. When we try to reflect, when we try to repeat, or we try to reconfirm, okay, about the situation. Okay, ataupun reflection ni juga it's actually about, so bila dia cakap okay, Jeffrey dekat rumah macam ni lah. Saya risau sangat lah, ataupun I'm really concerned about him when he cannot do certain things. So maybe we can reflect that. Oh, so you are really worries. So from what you say, it's really show that you really worries and concerns about Jeffrey. So there is reflection. So from that statement, we try to reflect some things. Okay, and summary. So summary, maybe you can reflection and summary too. It can happen sometimes both lah at the same time. You reflect and you try to summarize in a way what our parents are trying to say. Okay, and another important things that you need to take note as well. Be willing to ask the difficult and also to discuss the uncomfortable topics. Kan, macam saya cakap semalam lah, sometimes we rarely talk about emotion, but I think it's good if you have that opportunity to talk about difficult questions and also uncomfortable topics, but make sure don't confront, okay, don't counter argument with the parents and so on, but just like allow them, give them space also to talk. Okay, but at the same time, please remember the previous rules dulu. Make sure that you yourself already like settles on your unmet needs and so on. And then later on, you can apply this technique. Okay, so you try to explore some difficult topics with parents. Not go deeper, but maybe at the first place or at the surface, give some space for them, maybe to vent out what they are experiencing. Okay, so that also will make your communication more effective with parents, right? Okay. All right lah. So these are the motivational interviewing pocket guides. So ask open question dan sebagainya. Tapi later on saya akan share satu. There is one chapter that I got from one book ni. It's very nice to read. Kan cikgu boleh baca lah. Ada masa bukan baca dalam dia baca. When you read during the the training, maybe it's quite stressful and tense for you. But I will share later on with the organizers some of the materials that will help you to enhance your knowledge and your skills lah. Kan? So ada masa cikgu boleh baca, boleh tengok. Dia ada bagi-bagi contoh on the activities, what can you do with the parents as well. Okay. So sebenarnya kita ada satu practice. Okay, tapi tak apa. That practice, saya dah bagi juga, I already passed to organizer. The activities is a dialogue actually. It's a dialogue between parents and teachers. Okay, cuma our task is basically to identify the types of communication that happen. Adakah dia affirmative? Adakah dia the positive statement, holding the judgment, open-ended questions. So it's just like to identify. So that is basically the practice to make sure that you are getting what I'm already delivering to you for today. Okay. So I think because we are almost, we have another 10 minutes to go to 1 p.m. So maybe also I can show it here first.
Doctor, do you mind share a little bit of how we are going to have assertive communication?
Assertive communication.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I think you keep on telling like we should have assertive communication. Can you share something about it?
Okay, sure. We'll do that. Bila kita masuk yang sesi kedua tu, maybe I touch a bit on the assertive communication.
Thank you, Doctor.
To talk about it. All right. Thank you so much, Cik Fauzi as well. Okay. So for this practice session, okay. So of course ada nama Mak Saleh sikit sebab saya pun ambil daripada buku teks tu, tetapi I think that's a good dia ada satu practice, a good practice that we can do together lah. Right, let me before we stop for today. Sekejap. Okay, this is the practice session. So boleh tengok dalam drive. I think organizer already put it in the drive. So it's everyday conversation about change. So it's good sebenarnya saya plan nak buat role play tadi. Tapi tengoklah kalau kita ada masa petang ni sebab you all nak present juga. So we will talk about, it's actually a practice. Kita nak identify setiap how basically the teachers respond, what type of pattern of communication that she is using. So you have here, I put identify and label pattern of communication. So which I already explained as well just now, open-ended, reflection and affirmation, asking permission before giving advice. So we just want to match lah dengan teachers punya conversation. So if we do have time, we do it. Kalau tak pun, kita boleh buat latihan ni lah. Alright. So training materials, Harisha already put the link in the drive. Okay. So maybe I open for Q&A if there is Q&A. Tadi Cik Fauzi, nanti saya take note Cik Fauzi, saya will touch a bit lah on the assertive communication. Okay. Ada apa-apa soalan? daripada the floor, is there any questions? Today maybe it's better and it's lighter compared to yesterday lah. Because yesterday we are learning about the fundamental. So it looks like ni, but I think today we have activities to do together. So I think better that way. And thank you so much for your participation. I really appreciate it. Okay. So also thank you so much for all the viewers on the YouTube and also Facebook. Okay. All right. I pass to you, Puan Suhaila.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kartini. I also thank you to Puan Harisha for sharing the link to the training materials. Hope all of you can access the link. If you have any issues accessing, just let us know. Dr. Kartini, I would like to take this opportunity because earlier you mentioned that parents and teachers should be able to talk about topics which are uncomfortable for them and to get out of the box. So talk about uncomfortable topic. One topic crossed my mind, which is on sexuality education. So I would like to take this opportunity to inform all of the participants here that we'll be organizing a webinar on removing the taboo, the roles of caregivers in sexuality education on December 3rd, 2022 at 10 a.m. That is a webinar and it will be on YouTube and Facebook. So the poster will be up soon, and I hope that all of you will follow our social media account, our YouTube, our Facebook, as well as our Instagram and Twitter for further updates on the upcoming webinar. So I'm sure that webinar, because it will be consist of our professor speakers from Japan, and we have speakers from Philippines, as well as from Malaysia. It will be covering on the laws of sexual abuse and how the parents and teachers talk about sexuality to children as early as 6 years old to adolescents. So it's going to cover and encompass what aspects of sexuality. So don't miss out. All right. Do join us on the 3rd of December. Doctor, if there's no question, I would like to take this opportunity to also thank the YouTube and Facebook viewers. Thank you so much for joining us. Our live streaming will end shortly for all of you. Thank you once again for all of your feedback. And to our participants in Zoom, thank you so much for your active participation. Very engaging, yeah, today, Doctor?
I think even yesterday pun, but I think I really salute all of you lah. You are here discussing this topic. It really shows that you are really interested, and you really like looking forward how to basically give the best to the children, and also thank you, the families. Yeah.
You see that they're very enthusiastic in understanding how holistic approaches can be developed for the collaboration competencies. So thank you so much. We'll see all of you again at 2 p.m. Malaysia time. All right. If there can all of you access the training materials, just asking again. Okay. If there's no issues there in the chat box, I think it should be okay. Thanks, Puan Harisha, for sharing the link. All right, so thank you once again, and I'll see you at 2 o'clock Malaysia time.
Thank you, Dr. Kartini.
All right, thank you, Cikgu Fauzi, and thank you all. Have a nice lunch.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Thank you very much, Puan Su.
Thank you.
Puan Suhaila.
Thank you, Dr. Kartini, Puan Suhaila.
Ya, jangan lupa thank you Puan Harisha juga.
Thank
you, Puan Harisha, for sharing.
Thank you, Puan Harisha.
Thank you.
See you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.